You want to get him going? Hello, Wakefield, and welcome to the first esports stream from the Boys and Girls Club of Stoneham and Wakefield. My name is John Cordero. This is JW Parker, and we are going to be your commentators here today for the first ever showdown between our esports teams. We have a great spectacle for you today. Two teams, and including a third one for a special show match in the end, have been working very hard for the last few months to practice for this competition. They're very excited. There's a skin on the line, which is a League of Legends cosmetic item, which they're very excited to fight for. We have been working very hard, working with the kids to practice our gameplay, our teamwork, our communication, and we're thrilled to have this match set up between these two teams. We're eager to get into the game and to walk all of you through it. I'm sure there's a lot of you who don't know what League of Legends is, and so JW and myself will spend a time talking about what to expect and why or what on earth is going on. We're really excited, and thank you for tuning in. For two teams, the team on the left and the team on the right. The team on the left is the blue team, and the team on the right is the red team. Um, what we are doing today is getting the draft. The draft part of the game is where the characters are picked for each team. Right now, on the left side, we have Shadow10241020, or we'll call him, his name's Fizz, but he's our very own Jack. I'll just use the first names here. We have Viego, a character played by Smiley14, which is piloted by our very own Mia. Yasuo, piloted by SL Trill, which is our very own Finn. Timo, played by I Like Cheese '06, which is Sammy. And Nautilus, played by Tigenstar, which is Daniel. And then the other team, you can't see their names, but we have Blitzcrank, played by Jaden. We have a Sejuani, played by Tommy. An Annie, played by Devin. And a Darius, played by Noah. And a Lucian, played by Nico. Now, I did originally set this up to be a tournament draft here, W, but I realize now they only have 3 bans because the game hasn't updated. So we'll need to do that updated next time, but it should still be fine.
Congratulations. Good luck. Very proud
Thank
of
you,
guys.
Anthony.
Thank you.
So looking at these team comps, JW, which one are you looking for to get a success here?
I'm pretty excited about the team comp on the left. There's a lot of high skill champions coming there. I can tell the players there want to flex a little bit, want to skill check against their lane opponents, especially the Fizz and the Yasuo. I'm actually not totally sure where that Fizz is going, actually.
So if I know these teams, and I do know these teams, Yasuo is going to go bot lane.
Okay.
So they're Yasuo, for those of you who
Got it.
don't know, which is probably everyone, is a champion renowned for either doing really well or really poorly. So we're going to find out how that pilots out. The Fizz into the Annie matchup, I am a little worried for the Annie in this situation.
Yeah, I think Annie's going to have to play pretty safe. Hopefully, the Annie player acknowledges that Fizz is going to have a big advantage in the matchup, and Annie will just have to rely on her teammates to get some leads around her. Hopefully, that Sejuani can give that lane some attention.
Yeah, I think the pick potential from the red team here is pretty good. And by pick potential, we mean like being able to take one champion down at a time. right? It's a little much to go over all these characters' abilities, but as you'll see, you'll have champions who are very eager to start the fight, and that's what we'll call like picking an opponent. So with the Sejuani and the Blitzcrank, there's a really strong 1-2 combo there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big advantages that this red team is going to have is they have more ability to force fights on their terms with the Blitz and the Sejuani, and also that Annie, especially when Annie has Flash up. Flash is a summoner spell that those are spells that every character in the game has access to. Generally in League of Legends, you always take Flash. It just allows your character to instantly dash forward a brief distance. It's very powerful and has a very long cooldown.
Yeah, we'll be going over these things more as the timer allows as it starts to get load into the game. I'm really excited to see how they play out the early game. I know as the person who's coached both of these teams, I know their strategies, so I'm kind of gonna just see where they go. But I'm pretty sure if I was playing the Blitzcrank, they'd be want to go for a cheeky invade.
Yeah, that's always a great play when you have a Blitzcrank on your team, and they have a decent level 1 team in general. I think Sejuani can be pretty strong, and Darius is always and Lucian always got some good early game damage going on.
Yeah, the Lucian pick in the bot lane is. I'm obviously, as you know, I'm a huge Lucian fan, so I'm really excited to see what they do here. Now we can already see pings down on our mini map. So just a heads up for anyone watching, how this screen is on the bottom right where my mouse is circling. That is our mini map. The mini map is a great way to see where everyone is in the game, but we will be popping around to see where people are locating at. So right now it looks like the blue team is setting up a defensive perimeter, and red team is setting up a defensive perimeter as well. I'm interested to see they're stacking here together, as you can see on your screen. Now what they're looking to do is most likely prepare for a late invade as the minions spawn at 1:30.
And both teams early on setting up some vision early on to tell themselves if either team is trying something sneaky, those wards that you can see us panning to with the screen right now, those give you vision of that area when you put them down, so you can keep an eye on that part of your map even when you don't have someone there.
Yeah, that's very important. I'll cycle through vision for a minute. So as you can see, this is the blue team, what they can see on the map, and this is what the red team can see on the map. So they are unaware where each other are, but we, because we're spectating, can see both sides. And I will routinely cycle through that as well as looking at their items and whatnot. But here we go. Here's the invade coming in from the Blitzcrank. Nautilus sees him out. He's all alone.
He's alone, and yep, that is likely going to be first.
They burn exhaust here, which is, I think, a waste. Okay, on to Sejuani.
Holds his flash, which I think is a good composed play from the Nautilus. So still have that resource available.
They force him off the red buff. Okay, so this is interesting. What is Viego going to do here? That's my question. She's just kind of standing there. I think he's going to go for the Krugs here, but if they're smart, which they might be, they would know that. Okay, so they're going to leave Sejuani to take this red buff.
Is Viego going to contest it? I think,
oh, that's crazy. Oh, no, go for it, smite! Oh! Level 2 versus level 1 here. Fizz is coming down. Okay. He misses the 1-2. Yeah, Sejuani gets out of there.
Yeah. Oh, very good early play from the red team. That's going to lose the jungler. So each team has one jungler. Their job is, instead of playing in one of these 3 lanes where everyone else is, they move around the whole map. And that play by red team is going to put their jungler very far ahead of the blue. Because Viego didn't get that starting camp that they needed to start building up their experience. So they're going to be a little bit behind Sejuani for the rest of this early game.
So to give you an overview, this lane we're looking at now, as you can see on the minimap, is called, is the bottom lane. Hence, it's in the bottom of the map. It is a 2-person lane, which makes it unique in League of Legends. There is a mid lane right here, and this is where our mid laners are. And this is our top lane right here. All this space here, which is dark at the moment, this is the jungle, where the junglers roam around to find advantages when they can. So our most volatile matchup is, all these matchups are pretty volatile, to be honest. You got a very aggressive bot lane and this Nautilus, Yasuo, Lucian, Blitzcrank combo. We have Fizz is what we call an assassin. His goal is to get into melee onto Annie and do as much damage as he can. And Annie's job is to more or less survive that and then stun him to do damage. In the top lane, this is a tough matchup for the Darius, but some behind-the-scenes knowledge is that the Teemo and the Annie players are pretty new to the game. They haven't spent as much time practicing with the team. So I'm interested to see how they cope with the pressure and also how the other teams kind of exploit that. We've spent some time talking about the old adage, or whatever it's called properly, of you don't play the game, you play the person across the table.
Yeah. Uh, the Teemo I think is going to be the safer of the two matchups, just because for context, the Teemo versus Darius mostly relies on getting in your face and hitting you with his axe, and Teemo, he can blind other characters, which basically just means that their attacks briefly don't do any damage. Whereas the Annie, she has a few less tools to deal with that Fizz in the mid lane trying to get on her, so maintaining that spacing is going to be key. Now, Annie does have one big advantage in that she has one of the longest attack ranges in the game, so she can hopefully take advantage of that, stay away from the Fizz, unless there's a real good opportunity and play safe.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, oh, there's a hook on Yasuo. Okay, he dashes out. It's pretty safe. They're going to go in there. Lucian dashes in. Don't agree with that play there, but oh, the ignite, okay.
A very good exhaust to get that Yasuo
Goes back
off
in.
of Lucian.
Overall, not bad for the fact that the red team initiated that trade. We do see pings on the Sejuani up here, so they are aware. I like these. This is a really good ward by Fizz to see this coming. Do you want to go over the scuttle crabs for people?
Yeah, so those are basically two objectives that the junglers are going to be fighting over. They kind of act similarly to the wards we were talking about earlier, but they also give the jungler who secures them a big chunk of experience and gold, both of which are the two main resources you want to get ahead of your opponents in the game.
Yes, that's an important part we should talk. Oh, here's a gank top lane. Okay, so Sejuani's here. That's a flash out of Teemo. So the flash is what JW mentioned earlier. That's when you get like a blurb of yellow around you and you dash somewhere. You can see if we look at our character Teemo over here, his flash is on cooldown. That is a 300-second cooldown, which is a very long time in League of Legends and in general.
Yeah, so there's going to be a window where Sejuani can now revisit that lane, and now Teemo won't have that tool to get away next time. So not a huge success on the gank, but if they are able to exploit that window, it could be very important.
It'll definitely make Darius have a safer time up there, and I think what's interesting here is to see what the Sejuani is going to do with that. And like they have some wards up here. They are getting grubs, which is really important. These are we should go over neutral objectives. You want to go over grubs and dragon first?
Sure. So there's two objectives that spawn early on the map. So the dragon, that's going to give whichever team kills it. It's whichever team deals the killing blow. So you can get it all the way down to very low health, and then if someone on the other team comes in and steals that killing blow, their team will get it instead. It basically gives your team a permanent buff that lasts for the rest of the game. A buff is just anything that makes your character stronger. The grubs are a little bit different. When your team secures the grubs, you get a permanent advantage whenever you're pushing towers.
Towers are these things right here, which stay in lane. If you destroy them, you get gold.
Yeah. You get gold, and you get a little bit of extra map pressure whenever a tower goes down, because towers, they deal a lot of damage to enemies when they get within the tower's range. So every time you take one down, it opens up the map a little bit more for your team.
Yeah, the biggest thing that is important for us is your success in this game is largely balanced on what's called your gold. If you look at the top of your screen, you'll see these numbers right here, total team gold. Right now we're at 10.2 to 10, which is a very minuscule gold lead, so that means it's very close. The more gold you have, the stronger you are, is basically how it works. It's more complicated than that, but we'll keep it simple for now.
Yeah. And the main way players are acquiring gold right now, you can see these smaller units in each lane that they're constantly fighting. If you secure, similarly to Dragon, the killing blow on a minion, it grants you gold. Regardless of whether you secure the killing blow, whenever a minion dies near you, you also get experience. Experience levels up your individual character, makes your abilities a little bit stronger, increases your base stats, and then gold allows you to buy some new items from the shop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot to this game, and the more I spend with it and the more I talk to people about it, the more I realize how complicated it is.
Yeah. We're not going to be able to teach you everything about it today, unfortunately.
No, but we'll keep the highlights here. You know, we might say a bunch of phrases that don't make any sense, and we'll do our best to explain those if we can. So there's okay, we got a ping coming in mid lane. He's on a ward, so Fizz should know Blitzcrank's here. Will he react to it is the question. If you are hiding in this brush right here, in case people don't know, which most people don't, hiding in that brush, if you walk into it, you will become invisible, just like you walk behind a wall. You are temporarily unseen. That doesn't mean, of course, people don't know you walked in there if they saw you do it. Object permanence is still a thing.
Fizz, I think, did play that pretty well. You could notice that they were leaning towards the top side of their lane where the Blitzcrank wasn't. I think that's because they knew the Blitzcrank was coming towards them, so they just increased that spacing a little bit to make it harder for the Blitzcrank to make anything happen. And blue team looking to pick out the Sejuani here, and that's probably going to transition into a play on Dragon for them. The jungler is also, in addition to moving around the map, they're the main player that's going to secure these neutral objectives because they have a powerful ability that they're mostly obligated to take called Smite that just deals a large amount of damage to any neutral monster. So it's very handy for securing that killing blow that you need.
Yeah, I think that's huge. The Sejuani being caught like that right by Dragon, especially with his mid laner and bot laner not around, that's a free Dragon. That being said, game's still very close. That's a small advantage. Nothing has blown this game up. I think we have a lot of options. I'm just going to hold tab to see where our CS is at. Pretty even. Honestly, the Teemo is out CSing Darius, which is what we expected. That's the minion kills. That's what these. Oh, there's a hook.
Big fight popping out.
Flash.
Nautilus tried to flash forward to lock down Lucian, but it didn't quite work out. I'm not sure if that was actually an intentional flash forward to try and turn the play, or maybe there was a bit of a misinput there.
Oh, -1.
Either way, Lucian
Yasuo.
big advantage off of that. I don't know about that play out of Yasuo.
I think
he does have the dashes to get out, but
that's an ego play. That's an ego play there.
That's a big unnecessary risk. He did have the flash up, but still, you don't want to be burning that for no reason.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's an aggressive play, but it worked out to an extent.
Oh, Teemo barely getting out of that one. Red team making plays all across the map right now. Sejuani did re-gank that Teemo. The flash had already come back up though, so I think that's why they lived. And now in bot lane, Yasuo gonna get one back onto the support. And that's gonna be huge. Yasuo, if that Yasuo gets going, blue team is gonna be scary.
Agreed. I think Yasuo, like we talked about earlier, is someone who is very strong. If he gets these early kills, it's going to make a big deal. If not, it will be difficult. But so far, it's going well. Let's see. So Sejuani is taking grubs. I believe they already have. I'm going to check.
I think that's their second round of grubs.
Yeah, I don't see the grub buff on them, but I'm pretty sure that's all 6. Yeah, they have 3 right here. So they have all 6 grubs are looking to get all 6 grubs, which will be, it's something. It's something Red team can get back. They are not, the kills are even. We have 1 dragon for blue team. Gold is in a good spot. I'm very happy with how this game is playing out so far. I think this is close.
Yeah, it's been very back and forth. Blue team has done well to respond to some of the plays pulled out by Red.
Sejuani. Oh, can she dash out of the wall? Oh, the flash.
Okay.
The flash for flash. This is no mana. I think Sejuani gets away. Yeah, he's fine. Okay, good play by Sejuani. Tommy playing really well there. Good on them. All right, so are they looking to dive?
Oh, they could definitely set up a tower dive.
Fizzes?
So this is a risky play because of how strong we mentioned those towers are earlier. But when you have numbers like that, you can sometimes risk it. But no, they're going to back off.
I think that's the smart play. Sejuani had a good recall going on. Oh, bot lane fight. Ooh, very close here. Oh, that's dangerous. Both of these characters, the Lucian and the Yasuo, are similar in that they want to get ahead early in the game. So these fights are really important to them.
Yeah, they're 2 characters that have a big early game advantage in a lot of matchups against one another. I don't know if either of them really has the advantage, but they still want to press that early game power to start building some tempo.
Ooh. I think it really depends on how Lucian plays the wind wall. Because if Yasuo has an ability called wind wall, where he throws a wall of wind at someone and it stops all projectiles coming at him. So it's a really good, you can see it right here on your screen, this is the wind wall. It has a long cooldown, so it means he can only use it once every, I think 20 seconds is the default start. So if he uses that improperly, Lucian can get a lot of damage, but if he uses it right, Lucian's going to be in a rough spot.
Yeah, and it's also basically the ability that makes him a viable pick in this lane, which is normally a lane you see reserved for ranged carries, whereas Yasuo doesn't really have a whole lot of range to him, but the ability to just turn off a ranged character's damage in a specific direction is very, very strong.
Okay, so Lucian just needs to farm here. Blitzcrank does. Oh, he could have gotten for a hook there. He wants it. They don't have any vision. Reminder, if you walk into this brush, you don't actually see your opponent unless you saw them go there yourself. Excuse me. So bot lane's going to take a recall. Blitzcrank staying, which I don't really agree with. We also see a potential gank in the mid lane here.
Oh, yeah,
no,
Nanny does not have vision.
Okay,
Big
hits him with a stun.
Fizz is a
flash
little far back,
out of there.
though,
Okay.
and a good flash.
That was well played. Like we said, Andy's a newer player, so that's really good by Devin here to keep his head calm in that situation. He didn't panic. He used the right ability. That's really good. So Sejuani is going to get the Scuttle Crab here for vision. Dragon is going to spawn. Checking Dragon spawner time. Do I have that? I don't. Dragon's going to spawn soon. We know that. We can see that little symbol in the bottom of our map, which lets us know that. So it's close. Still a very good game. Nothing has happened. I think all the teams, realistically, are playing cautiously for understandable reasons.
Yeah, neither one wants to make that mistake that's going to blow the game wide open. And I think that's probably, you know, especially for this game one, that's kind of correct. Feeling each other out a little bit, finding out how this game is going to go down. I like this pick, though, by Sejuani. If anyone from the team can come help, it could turn into something really big. But no one's quite in position, so Fizz is going to get away with that one.
Yeah, I agree. I think if Sejuani waited a little bit and had a little more patience there to let Fizz get down towards the bot lane, that would have been a good collapse. But overall, I liked the instincts from Tommy. I think it's a good aggressive play. You know, he saw it. I could tell that I could hear his comms through, you know, my mind that he was like, look, look, look. But let's see. They are setting up for the bot side again. I think the red team should give this Dragon. I don't love Annie walking up here.
Yeah, the Sejuani, you can see Sejuani's already headed towards top side, so I think they've kind of determined that they're not going to fight over this one.
Okay.
I think a good play here would be for Darius and Sejuani to move to take Shelly up top.
Agree, which they are doing. So this is excellent. This means they're doing what we call a cross-map play. Since that's something is happening on the other side of the map, red team is going to go and do that on the other side. It's a very important aspect of the game. It's very, we call it like a seesaw. You know, if they're putting pressure on one side, you can go to the other. And blue team is not responding to this, so very good for red team to keep their heads down and say, look, we're not going to fight for that dragon. We're going to go for another objective.
Yeah. And this is a good objective to sneak. I don't think blue team had any vision on Sejuani going here, and no one has moved from their lanes other than Blitzcrank, but no one's going to suspect a Blitzcrank is taking an objective on his own. So blue team, I don't think they even know that this is happening.
-1.
And it's a nice little trade by the red team. Lucian swapping to the mid lane here is an interesting choice because it does show that maybe red team thinks it's time to end the lane phase, or maybe it was just a temporary thing as we see Annie coming back. Oftentimes when a team wants to end what's called the laning phase, where everyone's in their kind of assigned lane, they will send their bot laner and support mid, but we might have a bit of a sneak play here by Blitzcrank. It looks like Teemo knows that he might be there and is not willing to step up. So really good read on the play by Teemo.
Yeah, that's really smart. Like we said, again, Sammy, our top laner here playing Teemo, is a new player. So that's really, really important for him not to get punished like that. Very smart play on his end. I'm really liking the strategy plays from both of these teams.
That's the first turret going down. So we might see that Yasuo try to transition to mid lane off of that, try and push their advantage there. Or maybe they'll try to pick a fight. They are standing on a ward here, though. Blitzcrank might go for the hook.
Oh.
Doesn't
yes,
quite
Lucian's
get
got to kite backwards.
the easier to kill target. Lucian, that knockup is going to... no, ultimate.
Oh,
There's
late.
the ultimate
There it is.
Yasuo.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunate.
Good idea by red side here, but this is where the but and then no backup from red team here.
Well, that is going to give Annie and Sejuani a push here in the mid lane, so maybe they can find some tower damage at the very least to respond. But Fizz is going to get back to that lane pretty quickly, actually. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Herald drop. That's smart. So the Herald, you can see they can charge that into a turret, and how it helps you get those turrets much easier, or towers, whatever word you want to use for it. So
and you can see all those grubs that they secured earlier popping out to help.
Oh, they're going. He hopped back in. Oh, the solo kill top lane. He's drifting it. Tokyo drift into the tower. Wow, well played.
Done.
And a top lane kill. Okay, so again, swinging across. That was a big play bot side for the blue team, and then a really good play red side for both the solo kill top and the tower. Oh.
Okay. Oh, and he doesn't
gets
quite
the
have the stun up, but nice.
Nice follow-up.
Very good ultimate
Ooh,
by the Sejuani.
He's chasing him. Lucian does have ulti. Now, Nico doesn't love to use his ulti here, which I don't really understand. But okay. Yeah, he should have just cullinged him. He's still looking for it. Ooh.
This is a bit of a risky play. You never really want to tower dive champions like Yasuo who have so many tricky ways of turning the play.
Nautilus is on his way.
And yeah, he decides not to. I think that's the right call.
I agree. We love an ego play here. We are big fans of what we call limit testing. But that was too aggressive on his part, which is a really good job for him to realize that that was not the play. Because if Nautilus comes down there, he's toast.
Oh, for sure. Both teams kind of just stabilizing after that slightly explosive run of play there. I like the cross-map responses that we've been seeing in this game. Big play happens for blue team bot lane, so red team drops the Rift Herald in the mid. Blue team takes the dragon, so red team goes up to take that Rift Herald. So both teams responding to one another's plays. Everyone's doing their hardest to keep this game close, and it is dead even right now. Gold is identical, equal towers taken. Only real difference that might start to tick up for the blue team is those dragons.
Yeah, they're on 2 dragons now. How dragons work additionally is any team can get a total of 4 dragons. It's called dragon stacking. If you get the 4th dragon, you get a permanent buff larger than the previous buffs called the Dragon Soul. Each Dragon Soul is special, and it affects the game differently. Right now, we're on an Ocean Soul, I believe, which is a very powerful soul. What that does is it gives everyone health regen and mana regen, which are your 2 stats that keep you alive. And so, oh, there's the hook onto the Viego. Follow it up. Oh, but the Annie gets chunked out by the Fizz. Okay.
Bit of a scattered play from the red team there. Blitzcrank wanted to engage on one end, but Sejuani and Annie were focused in another direction. Sejuani gets split between the 2 plays, and that leaves Annie all on her own.
Nautilus hooks in.
She's easy picking when she's on her
Gets
own.
picked up. Okay, Lucian needs to kite backwards. He's standing in melee with the Nautilus, which I... Oh, okay. Okay, good. The exhaust on the Yasuo early. Oh, no, they got to leave him. Yeah, that's...
And yeah, there
Flash hook, go crazy.
There. Oh.
Blitzcrank still in. Just thinking about it. Oh, the turnaround. No, they can't follow it up.
No, they don't have a play. All right, well, blue team pushing their advantage, and there they go. That's going to be the 3rd dragon for them, so they are starting to really eke out an advantage from these constant winning team fights around dragon.
Yeah, I think that was really smart the way they set that up. They played around vision, which I'm, as their coach, very happy about. Oh, Sejuani thinking about a steal. This would be. I
think this is a pretty good steal attempt.
Oh, smited by the Viego.
Very close. I don't think Sejuani can get out yet. No plans, and that's going to be a dead boar.
It was a good. I liked the idea. I think if he had the smite there, I'm not sure if he had it up or. I mean, I would think he'd have it up, but.
You would hope.
But it was a good attempt, and that that's the name of the game here, is making the smart play even if you can't execute on it. Yeah.
I think red team, at least considering getting some vision around Baron. No, they're actually looking to make a play here on this Yasuo, and he's gonna walk right into them.
Into the E.
Pops the hook. Knock up. Silence.
Can he get the trade?
Just gotta shoot him. Oh. What a
Annie
play.
can hit the abilities. Okay. Got him. Huge shutdown for Annie, actually. 700 gold. Fizz there.
No.
Oh, that's a double kill.
This has gone sour real quick.
Oh, he's going for the Blitzcrank. Wait. Annie?
Oh.
Annie? Oh, my God. He turns around the 2v. Wow.
Just enough CC on the Fizz for Annie to burn him down and keep that play positive.
That's insane.
Team.
That is a huge moment for our Annie player here, being the newer player, to be able to stand toe-to-toe against a Fizz and take him down. Huge momentum swing.
These teams, they're starting to get a little more eager to start these fights. This game is getting a little more exciting. Darius might be caught out here. Sejuani's waiting in the bush, but Nautilus just gets to the fight first, actually.
Yes,
Darius has no choice but to run away.
Okay, interesting. They're playing around the Baron here. It is a little early to be considering the Baron. So this giant purple creature here is called Baron. Is Baron Nashor. It is a very difficult monster to defeat, and if you do defeat it, it gets you a big... Oh, the hook on the Nautilus. Okay. I don't love hooking the Nautilus over and over, but I think he's a free pick.
In this situation, yeah, there's just nothing.
Give the solution, Yep, smart of them. Good.
Very good play.
I can tell you for a fact Lucian was screaming, mine.
One of my favorite fun facts about Baron Nashor is that in the American community, we shorten it to Baron, and then in the European League of Legends community, they shorten it to Nashor.
That, you know, now that you mentioned that, I knew that in the back of my mind, but I hadn't actually put it together. Can they go for Yasuo here? Yeah,
They
collapse
can.
on Yasuo. Blitzcrank is, he's thirsty for it. He wants the kill.
Okay.
Oh, good.
I like
good.
the play out of the bush. Ult immediately as Sejuani
Runs a flash.
Annie's Q,
Oh,
not
hook goes
quite
wide. Sejuani's staying on it.
Stun.
Yasuo thought about that
Might have
R
another
so
hook.
bad.
No, it's not up.
No. Yeah, we're good. What are they going to do with the Baron pressure here? So they're spending a lot of time on the Baron. Darius did solo kill Teemo top lane. We missed that. So that's going to be a big deal. That is one of the mismatches we have here is the top lane. So let's check on what we're doing. Teemo is down in CS now, so the Darius is fully online. Oh, hooking to the Nautilus again.
I think, yeah there's
he's
just
dead.
no help.
He's dead. I think they go Baron here if they're smart.
I think it's a risky play for them, but I think they can go for it. I mean,
They're doing it. They're doing it.
They do have vision, but they don't have a safe approach here.
I trained him well. I think Fizz should throw his ulti in there, or if they give, they should go mid for pressure.
I'm actually would be kind of surprised if they give here. I feel like blue team's going to want to fight over this.
They got to make a decision now. Viego is not committing. This is gone.
They're just
It's
watching
gone.
it die. Yeah, they're going. They're not going at all. All right. So they don't get anything for that. Blue team just watches the Baron die. They could have probably killed mid tower. They might still be able to because red team does decide to reset the play. Yasuo is going to find Annie. Ooh, a good stun though, gets her out, and then the fizzle misses on the exit. So Annie's out scot-free. So once you secure that Baron, that's a buff that's temporary, unlike the Dragon and some of the other objectives that attaches to you. If you die, you actually lose it. So Annie, things have gone a little differently there. He might have lost it right away.
Yeah, I'm glad they got out of there all right. I do think blue team should have contested that. I think they could have at the very least made them make decisions, but the Blitzcrank might be the big thing here. And I think if this game, they're all kind of just sitting mid lane waiting for the wave. If blue team loses this round, I think one of the big things will be if they consider a Blitzcrank ban. You know?
Yeah, Blitzcrank ban, or maybe just changing up how they play around it. Because I understand why the Blitzcrank maybe makes them a little scared to directly contest Baron, but you got to go for a different play then. Just something had to happen. You know, shove that minion wave in mid lane and try to get some pressure anywhere else. Like we were talking about, that cross map play.
Exactly. Like you just... So this will be interesting to see where their mental is at, because this part of the game, it is relatively even, and they have the dragons, but... Well, both these teams are very momentum-based teams. If they are doing well, they tend... Oh, Sejuani is all alone here. Fizz sees... Oh, the ult misses. Blitzcrank.
We might have yet another hook on the Nautilus.
Oh, my God.
And I think he's dead. Yeah, Darius there with the team, and he is huge right now from those kills he's gotten top lane. Darius has a massive level advantage over some of these blue team players.
Oh, the Yasuo hook!
Huge hook, Lucian. A little far forward, might get collapsed on.
Fizz.
Yep, the Fizz
Explodes the Lucian.
So won't blow him up. Yasuo gets a big
But Darius...
Darius, he might go crazy here. Has the
He's
ult,
going
getting the
crazy.
resets.
Oh, my God, into the Fizz. He's going to pull him in a second.
And he has the stun up. Does she have an ability?
Oh, he's dunked. He's dunked.
Okay.
Oh, absolute massive play from the Darius.
This Darius
Oh,
is just
man.
huge right now. Level 16 already. Most of the rest of the map still only level 11, 12, 13. So Darius has a massive advantage in this game.
This is intense. This isn't... So that... I don't know. This game, it's... Blue team was doing really well. Sorry, the Outlaws, but... I'm sorry, Legion. But what's interesting now is what they do about the fact that they are now lost Baron and their Dragon Soul is stolen. So they need to pump the brakes, settle down, really play around that Blitzcrank pick. Because I think if Blitzcrank hooks the Nautilus in, they have to follow that up.
Yeah. Yeah, because if Nautilus gets hooked and the rest of the team is around, blue team can convert that into a nice advantage for them, because he's basically the last target on blue that Blitzcrank actually wants to hit with that hook, because he's so much harder to kill and he has all these, he kind of wants to be in your face as long as he has support from the team. And I think red, this Darius is just going to camp out in top lane whenever he has TP up, and that's going to be a problem because I don't think Teemo is going to be able to stop that push.
I agree. I think That's the problem with the Teemo pick, is that, Lucian super caught out. That's going to the Yasuo. That's huge. Sejuani will follow it up. Yeah, I think Sejuani needs to get out of here.
Might be caught here. Does have the dash away, but Fizz is able to keep up too.
And the flash. Okay. That's a big play. Still a very close game. It is a 3K gold lead for the red team for the Outlaws here, so that is a big factor, but all it takes is those 1 or 2 mistakes to really start throwing the game. If like that Lucian got picked off and Dragon was up or Baron was up, that'd be a big decision. So, both teams very much still in this.
Blue team, they're getting some vision control here around the Dragon. That should be up within the next minute or so. They're going to be looking on their soul point. So that's going to be a play that Red has to contest. I think Darius should have teleport up for that play, so they'll be able to keep him top lane. So teleport, this is something a lot of top laners take. It has a long wind-up time, but it basically allows you to move to any allied unit on the map. So that includes, except another player. So you can move to towers, minions, or those vision wards that teams like to put down, and join your team in the fight. It's really important for these two guys who kind of on their own up in top lane a lot of the time.
Teemo's just going to pop his W. He's going to run a Blitzcrank. Oh, barely missed.
They're going to keep this chase going, but that might be a little bit too far. The whole team is there to support.
Not hook goes wide, but he's got no flash. He's dead.
Yeah, there's no way for Blitzcrank to get out of that one. The missed hook, you should have just taken the L and moved on.
Yeah, that's an overcommit from the Blitzcrank for sure. But so far, like we said, still a swinging game. Anything could happen here. Baron is going to spawn in the next minute, and that will be the catalyst for probably the biggest team fight to come yet, because both teams are going to want to make sure they don't let the other take it.
Yeah, I think Red is going to feel a fire, and I feel like Red also is going to feel like they're the stronger team in fights right now, so they really don't have any reason to not handshake that fight and take it to them. And I think it's going to really come down to that team fight. Which team finally gets a really, really clear edge here?
I think it will largely come down to who gets the initiation. I think so far, when the Blitzcrank gets the hook, blue team gets panicked, and they think that they've lost the fight from there. Now, that isn't true. If they do get hooked, they can 100% follow that up. So we'll see. Okay, Sejuani and Nautilus they're messing around in there. Lucian's going to come to do some damage, but Lucian's alone. Into the hook, and he has to back that up.
And he doesn't have dash anymore.
Yeah,
they might both go down here.
Oh, that's huge. They catch the Nautilus there for red team, but
they're
so
a little
far,
light on damage. It's just the 2 tanks going at him, and now they're going to have the whole team coming in to support. This might be a dead Blitzcrank.
That's a big mistake from red team there. The Lucian can't get caught like that. But Darius is going to solo kill Teemo top lane again, so Darius has to carry this fight. They have to collapse here. They can't give up the Baron. We'll see what happens, but if I was red team, I would make sure that they do have vision, so they know they're not on it, which is smart.
Yeah, and I don't think blue team wants to start it up. It looks like they're just trying to reset. They don't want to take that risk just yet. I think they're going to reset and get ready for the impending dragon fight.
Like we said, though, and I am really happy that this is a close game. Both of these teams, they are making good plays, but they're also making mistakes, and both teams are doing a good job of capitalizing on those mistakes.
Yeah, they're doing very, very well to punish when the other team is stepping a little too far forward or stepping somewhere they don't have vision. We've seen it a lot from both sides so far. Nautilus going to hang out up top here. There isn't anyone nearby. I'm not sure if he's trying to spring a trap on nobody.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing there either. I think he's just making sure they're not going to go for Baron because they don't have vision on it. If I was Nautilus, I would clear that pink ward. I think that's the most important thing he can do right now to get vision of that. Sejuani loves this. Okay, they see him now. I don't know if he knows that they see him.
Hopefully knows that he's been seen. He should know, because that pair of eyes that we saw should appear on his screen as well.
So here we go. Here's the fight that's going to make... Oh, he ults the Blitzcrank for Yasuo. I don't agree with that.
But no one's staying around to help Blitzcrank, so he's just going to go down.
Lucian,
he doesn't have
Viego's on Lucian.
Away.
Okay, Viego and Lucian are fighting here. Lucian needs to get out of there. And he's also being chased by Teemo and the Nautilus. Where's Darius? Darius needs to be in this fight.
The whole
Darius
red team
running away.
Splits up. The moment Yasuo goes in on Blitzcrank, they just scatter to the wind, which I'm actually quite surprised by. I feel like they've had some really successful fights recently. They have this Darius that's so far ahead, but they just didn't have faith to keep the fight going.
Yeah, the big thing red team needs to work on is their team fights here. Is they're getting panicked about taking when the fight starts, and then they're just not collapsing properly. I think if the Darius there can probably kill all of them realistically. Okay, here's the situation. Okay, Blitzcrank just takes that hook. They're fine. They are still, Annie and Sejuani are down for the next 15 seconds. So red team still has vision on Baron. They're not worried. They need to wave clear and think about what they're going to do here.
Something I actually only just realized, red team actually did get dragon that fight. So that was not Soul for the Blues. So that's actually considering how badly the fight went, that's a decent consolation prize for them. I'm not totally sure how they secured that one, but
I don't know. Did Blitzcrank get it?
No, Blitzcrank was dead before it went down. I think Sejuani must have off-screen gone back and managed to steal somehow.
That's true. We were watching the Lucian versus Viego, because Viego was not there. Viego was chasing the Lucian.
Yeah.
Yeah, red team. Okay, they're looking for a pick here. So this is smart. We just went over this play last week about how to control vision. So they have a ward in there. I think they swept it. And they're trying the same thing. As you can see, we've gone over this play relatively recently. Both teams are this, like we talked about, they're really stressed about this Baron play, because if you lose a team fight and the enemy team takes Baron here, it is going to be hard to come back.
Yeah, it's a huge swing. It's usually often called a power play in competitive play when you get Baron, because it just gives you such a big advantage and such a big tempo increase. Both teams, they're just kind of dancing around in the river. Both of them wants to convince the other team to come to them so they can spring the trap, but no one's falling
now it's
for
on a
it.
ward.
We'll see who tries to force something first, who loses their nerve.
Yeah, this is an old Western, just duel at noon kind of thing going on here, waiting to see who draws first. Yeah, so we could pick
crossing. No hook attempt though.
Good ward placement from the Outlaws here. As you can see, this ward here and this ward here, if we show vision real quick, that shows them where these bushes are. Blue team, on the other hand, does not have any vision of what's going on in this quadrant of the map. So this is dangerous. Teemo is pushing by himself with no vision.
Oh yeah, he can't see anything, and they are looking to collapse, it looks like.
There's the pings from his teammates. They're telling him to get out of there. Really smart play.
That nice thick wall keeping him safe.
Yeah, they changed the map recently. That's going to be a big factor here. Otherwise, he would have been very dead. Very smart play on their part from the Legion to back up the Teemo there, keeping Sammy alive and still part of this team. If I was Teemo, I'd be throwing some of his mushrooms down. Teemo's ultimate ability is that he throws down these mushrooms that are poison traps. They're very, very frustrating to deal with. So that's a really good way to start punishing these guys for that.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing to point out. We've not really seen the mushrooms come into play too much. I'm not sure if they've just been placed in weird locations that we haven't had access to. And here we go. We might have an engage.
Onto the Blitzcrank.
And yeah, so going in on Blitzcrank. And yeah, there's just, again, there's no support. As soon as someone gets caught out, both teams, they're kind of running away.
Yeah, they're like we talked about, they are very scared to take these fights, because if you lose a fight bad, the game's going to be in a bad spot. But if you just let your teammates die one at a time over and over, here's where we're going to get this dangerous spot again, where Sejuani is, I really like what Tom is doing here. But, okay, so Danny's TPing bot to get pressure on the other side of the map.
I guess they're just going to play for the steal then. Sejuani waiting.
They got no vision. Sejuani's thinking, that's a thick part of the wall, though. I don't know if he can jump over that wall here. Oh, if this is going to look, he's going to sniff it out. Sejuani over the wall.
In very early, which I actually like. It gives a little more.
The Teemo gets it.
That's Sejuani's going to die.
Burns the flag.
You got to go for it, though. You got to go
for it. No, we love the attempt. I think that's the right play.
Yeah.
If they're going to TP the Annie bot side, I think that makes a lot of sense. But
let's see if Andy can actually get some damage on this tower. Should be able to at least get it down
with the 6 grubs.
Halfway, if not all the way.
They're not committing.
Sejuani,
Diego's been sitting in base.
So, and he's going to walk away with a tower, so red team will at least get something. They'll get some map pressure here. And actually, bot lane is going to give them a little more pressure than some of the other lanes will for the next Baron. Whenever you have someone pushing bot, you're always drawing enemies away from where the Baron pit, just because geographically it's further away. That's a huge hook.
Tower's down. He's exhausted. Just
leaving that through the minions, he should go down, yeah.
Huge shutdown into Lucian there. That's going to make a big deal. Let's check his items real quick. Lucian's at a good spot with his Navori and his Kraken. I think, Annie, almost. Tibbers? No, Tibbers almost carried that fight for him. But Lucian is at I think he's going to probably go Rapid Fire next, which I think once he builds Rapid Fire, if he plays it right, is going to be, don't walk into the Fizz. Nice, okay. Yeah. Okay, that's Fizz's E. Use your culling.
E and flash.
Use your culling. Oh my gosh. I'm a Lucian player, so I'm a little picky on these things. I'm going to write that in my notes.
But that's going to give, I mean, there's not really a way for blue to contest this Baron now. Yasuo's dead. Fizz has to reset, so warding off the soul once again, and that's actually going to match the dragon count now, so both teams going to be on soul point after this.
We are at the 38-minute mark, which is kind of what I predicted, is that both of these teams are going to make this game go long. The hardest probably skill to learn in League of Legends is to know when to press your advantage. And either of these teams, they've been hesitant to push what they have. You know, the Darius is still a mega threat that we have not seen really. He hasn't died yet.
Yeah.
So big shutdown, too, if you got a kill there. I'm really interested to see how this plays out. Because
I definitely want to see them pushing this Darius advantage a little bit more. I want to see Darius just picking one of the side lanes. Honestly, probably bot lane at this point, because I think the next big fight's going to be over Baron. And just sit there and force someone, probably multiple people, to come say hello, because no one on blue is going to be able to stop him alone.
yeah, I don't think there's a... Oh, there we go. So he just used a W. There's a flash. Okay. Teemo burns his flash. That's not bad. Okay. They're also engaging here. Oh, they are outnumbered. Annie needs to come support them.
That's some pretty good disengage, actually, from the Blitzcrank, though. I think they're all going to get away fine. Really good knock-up onto Yasuo as he was trying to dash towards the Lucian.
This has been a good game. I'm very happy with how they've been playing it out. I think the next dragon is a while away, same with Baron. So right now, how the game's looking is because there's no big objectives to fight over, that being the Baron or the dragon, both teams are kind of just, you know, jabbing at each other, seeing what people are doing, kind of moving. I think this is smart to move in a group. If you're moving by yourself, you're just going to get picked off by one of these enemy champions.
Yeah, both teams grouping up just a little bit more, trying to suss out one another's vision, where everyone's going on the map. And good.
Darius is so hungry for this Teemo, which is fair. I think the Teemo's really only staying alive because his his ability lets him move faster. If he didn't have that, he would be so dead.
Yeah. And honestly, also just playing well to keep that spacing between himself and Darius. Make sure Darius isn't quite able to get that angle. That
was a blind hook. That was blind. He fired that randomly.
Yeah, he knew they were in the area, but yeah, did not know exactly the positioning. So that
it's close. No, this is really intense. Red team is largely defending the bot lane here. They don't have any vision, which is a little dangerous. But I think at this point in the game, with blue team does have a 3-ish K gold lead. I don't really think that matters too much at this point. I mean, actually, let's check their items. It actually matters a great deal. None of these guys have more than 3 or 4 completed items. What items do? Each item gives you special bonuses or stats, right? You can have a total of 6. So if you have all 6, you are as strong as your character is ever going to be. So the goal is to build up to those 6 items. Darius is looking for a play on the Teemo, but he's going to do the same thing where he just wraps around the edge of this W. If I was Darius, and I know this Darius, he is definitely frustrated at this Teemo because he knows he can get it.
Oh, I'm loving this play by Teemo, and it's really putting a damper on the ability of this Darius to actually force the issue. I think Darius just got to give up on trying to solo kill Teemo and just play for the push, play for the pressure, try to get an objective, try to get the wave going to the enemy top lane tower that's still up. But instead, just so tunnel vision on trying to get that solo kill.
No one's actually around the top side. There's nothing to get. If I was red team, I would just be throwing Sejuani up there. I'd be calling for the gank over and over again. Just kill this Teemo repeatedly.
Yeah, and neither team even really has vision up there. Both of them are just pushing without knowing what's going on around them. We'll both know that their teammates are down.
There's also no Teemo shrooms in the map. There's objectively no Teemo. Oh, here we go. Sejuani picked off. Bottom, they got to come help him out. Okay, that's fine. The hook misses. They got to commit to this.
I think.
Oh, yeah. They're going to leave him.
Sejuani, they weren't really close enough, and it was just Annie and Lucian in the area. I actually think there's not a whole lot either of them can do to save Sejuani. There may be a big Annie ult, but that's a bit of a risky and difficult play to go for.
I agree. I think protecting their teammates is definitely a thing to continue to work on. We are at 43 minutes in, so at any point in time, this is an explosive thing. I did warn you that these games can go long because it is a difficult thing to close a League of Legends game out if you don't have the experience in doing so.
And we've been talking so much about, you know, which team has the advantage at this point in the game, but you do hit a point in the game where no longer...
He's tower diving the Annie. It's.
I think they're
I mean,
just both gonna die. Wow.
Oh, the minions! Oh! The minions take the kill there. That's insane. That is the definition of an ego play. There is no reason to dive the Annie under tower alone. Did he exhaust the?
Yeah, the Yasuo had exhaust and popped it in that play.
Wow, Blitzcrank, hook him.
He sees him. He
Oh,
just
no,
doesn't feel confident for the hook.
I think red team with the Yasuo down, that's a pretty big advantage for them to be pushing.
Yeah.
They're going for the dragon. Are they going to sneak it? I'm really, really happy with them buying these control wards because the control wards has been a big factor in like we said, we just learned about these lessons, so it's really rewarding for me as a coach to see them take these lessons. Oh, that hook misses.
That hook was so close. Sejuani.
Wait, are they baroning? They
are.
They're two-man baroning without the jungler.
Without the jungler?
They're giving Dragon Soul.
Wait, and is Sejuani gonna try to steal Dragon on top of it?
This is crazy. Teemo's not gonna. Is he gonna sniff it out?
Teemo's gonna see this.
Teemo sniffs it out. He sees them. There's pings on, but they take the dragon. Blue team's got to go. Red team's got to follow it up.
They don't have damage. Oh,
and he's TPing in. What is Sejuani doing?
You gotta go now.
You gotta get out of there.
Recalling.
Oh no.
Why are they recalling?
He burned Tibbers on it as well.
Oh no, this is gonna end so badly.
Yasuo's on the way. They're collapsing. It's 4v3.
Oh no. This is a disaster. Oh, and they get the Baron, they get the kills.
Oh, that's a TY for leash moment right there. Oh my god. That's a huge mistake. Oh. Which is that? Oh, the game ended. Oh, the game went. Okay, it's over.
Oh, do we not see the ending because of the stream delay?
I don't think that's not how it should work, but I'm gonna guess I can hear the screaming from children in the other room. Oh my god. Yeah, so I guess the token expired. I don't know how that plays out, but that was crazy. All right, so we're going to take a little bit of a break here and talk to both the teams, get them set up, and debrief from that. And hopefully when I go into a tournament draft next time, that should fix that.
Hopefully.
So we'll see. I will reset the lobby real quick. That was an insane, we know how that play ended because they went for a play there that was very aggressive. So as their coach, I'm going to go prep them for that. Just give us a second as we change over to a different camera for a moment here. So yeah, that was a crazy game one.
Really explosive ending to that game. That was so much fun to watch. I feel like Red, they could have made that work. They could have made that work if they were just a little quicker to collapse on that Baron as 5, but instead half the team kept on it and were super committed to the play, and then Lucian and Sejuani gave up on it basically and go to base. And that's never going to work when you're not on the same page with your teammates. You're trying to do different things, and you could see the results.
Yeah, I think they were feeling the pressure at 48 minutes in the game. I could tell there was a lot of tension going on. I think, like we talked about, the Darius just needed to really punish that Teemo and call for some ganks for that. There was a lot of interesting plays going on there, but the two-man Baron is an aggressive play. So that was game one. Hopefully this goes for a full game 3 series, but we'll definitely have another game for you. We're going to take a short break while we get the kids some pizza, which I'm sure they're very eager about, and then debrief with both teams. But thank you for watching. We'll go to a brief break, and we'll be back soon. All right, welcome back to the Boys and Girls Club of Stoneham and Wakefield Esports Showdown. Thank you for joining us. We have just come off a pretty spectacular game one, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, a crazy conclusion, even though unfortunately we didn't witness all of it. We got the big explosive part. We got the important stuff. So Legion, off of a bit of a fumble there towards the end there from the Outlaws, pull out the win. I think game one, both teams kind of feeling one another out a little bit. There was a little bit of nervousness about committing to some of these plays, and so they weren't always on the same page. Hopefully we see Outlaws rally and a little more coordination in game two.
Yes, I spoke with both teams in the middle of the break, and I think both of them understand what went right and what went wrong. They're really eager to get back in there and get the draft going. Their game plans have been adjusted. We'll see how they play under this added pressure, since it is a must-win for Outlaws. We'll see how it goes, but I think we're thrilled to get back in there. Must have been a...
I think one of them accidentally quit.
Okay, one of them accidentally quit. Phenomenal. That's fine. We can get them back in, and they can. Once they're back in the game, they're welcome to start it back up.
All right, back in the game, start it back up.
Appreciate you for sticking with us with these difficulties. Sometimes when they get into the beginning part of the game, it is probably the most important part of the game from a strategy standpoint.
No, just have them come back in.
It's definitely up there.
Yeah, that's where you pick your characters, right? And there are, what, over 150 now?
Yeah, and the number keeps climbing. I think it's almost over 160 at this point.
It's a ton of options.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot of factors you have to consider. And these players, they know each other. So they know what they like to play. And so there might be a lot of bands that are targeted against one another. And we might also see some bands that respond to what happened last game with players trying to get rid of the champions that were causing them issue. You did mention that Blitzcrank. It'll be interesting to see if Legion target it.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how the Blitzcrank goes. I think they might target it. I'm going to restart the lobby and invite these guys again back in here.
We reset the lobby.
So I'll be inviting them back, and then they should be able to get back into it. Oh, they're in champ. It says there we go. Appreciate this sticking around with us. It is... We don't have access. One of the things that is really cool about esports in general is that you have to get your own server to do these things so that we can be on the same page. But when we do it by ourselves here, we kind of have to adjust what's best with whoever in front of us. So they're very passionate about this. So I'm sure what probably happened is one of them pressed the wrong button and then got a little flustered, so they left the game to reset it. But they're capable of getting themselves set up on it, which they're getting ready to now. So they're getting ready, and when they're good to go, we can start.
Sam, do you know which team
but yeah, we'll hop into the draft. The reason the draft is so important, as you mentioned, is the players do know what they like to play. So it's a little bit like, if you're playing soccer and this guy likes to shoot from outside the 18, right? Then you're going to start play a little D a little differently. And if you got a guy who likes to dribble past, you're going to adjust your defensive style. And the same thing applies here. If they... especially with that Darius, I think that Darius is probably going to be on the chopping block since they do get their 5 bans this time. Probably the Yasuo too, because that was an unexpected pick for them in that bot lane.
It was, and it seemed like bot lane wasn't totally used to or comfortable in that kind of matchup. Lucian really wanted to maintain that spacing, and there were a lot of instances where he was opting into the melee matchup with the Yasuo. Just didn't seem like he fully understood how that matchup plays out.
Yeah, and I think the hardest part of this game for a ranged character is understanding how to keep that distance. One of the terms that I use for them a lot is imagine there's a string tied between you and your opponent, right? You want that string to be taut at all times, because if it's not, they're getting too close, right? So learning how to keep that string there is very important. It's probably, in my opinion, as an AD carry main, it's the most difficult part of that role, is knowing that you can do a lot of damage and take over a team fight. But if you misplay once, if you're in the wrong spot at the wrong time, you're in a bad spot.
Yeah, it's a very hard skill to master, and it's probably the most important skill for a ranged carry player like an ADC or a mage to master, because that, like you said, if that spacing gets off even just a little bit, there are some characters, and Yasuo is one of them, who will pounce on that, and you're going to be in for a bad time.
I think also that Fizz was probably a bad option for them too. Like both of those are assassins that are interested in getting in there and doing some damage. So it's tough. Yeah, and we're going to switch now to the draft pick here.
We'll get into champ select.
So let's see how they decide this.
Off you.
Their first so Outlaws is on the left here. You can see that also because they have OL in a lot of their names, and Legion is on the right. So they're banning the Caitlyn from SL Trill, the Aurelian Soul from Shadow, and Legion is banning the Lux support actually from Rusher Sniper. And Misfortune is also targeted, as that's the other AD carry's main.
We do see the Fizz ban come out, so Outlaws don't want to deal with that one again.
I think that's a smart play. The Fizz was definitely an issue, especially into that Annie, and the late game was just a big deal.
Yeah. And now both teams are actually, so you get 3 bans, and then each team gets 3 picks before you finish off your bans. So there's a little bit of a give and take there. So we'll see what can sneak through this first round. The Pike for the Outlaws right off the start, though. That's a very aggressive support pick. Some people call him support in quotation marks as a joke because he likes to get the kills for himself. He actually shares the gold bounty for those kills with the nearest ally. So he actually likes to take the kills, even though he's a support.
And there's the Viego pick as well. So they're running the Veigar Viego, which I think the Viego's a comfort pick. They probably wanted to ban that on the blue side here from the Outlaws. So they've never played a tournament draft before, so it's interesting to see how they're going to adapt to that.
And Lucia come out again, so a very aggressive bot lane pick for the Outlaws again. I think it's going to be a little higher damage this time, which I think is going to benefit them in some of these 2v2s. And they do get the Yasuo again for Legion.
So this will, now they're going to have to adjust, because I definitely think that Legion wanted to ban the Sejuani. So what's it's the top side that they should focus here. If I was them, I'd ban the Darius, for sure. I think Darius has got to go. And I would even probably target ban that again by throwing a Fiora ban up there, really making the top laner uncomfortable.
And they do take the Darius option away, so that's going to help them out in the top lane quite a bit.
Nautilus. Now, this is a big deal because the other option that Daniel was going to run besides the Nautilus was his Pike. So I don't know. He could run Leona unless they decide to ban Leona here. That's his third option.
Okay, so they're targeting that support. And I like that actually because taking away those aggressive support options from the Yasuo is going to be huge. I think Nautilus is the important one to take away especially because of that synergy they have with the knockups. And another top lane ban coming out, that Fiora. 3 top lane bans actually, assuming that Mordekaiser is also targeted there. So they are definitely
into the Leona ban. This is cruel.
Again.
This is cruel.
Another support ban. So yeah, they want to swing this bot lane matchup in their favor. They are going full in on it, trying to turn that around.
Oh, I forgot about that. He could pull out his Garen pick here. I think Garen's pretty much Darius.
He is very similar, and actually that's going to be a safer early lane against the Teemo, I think, just because of that natural regen that he has. Let's see what we get.
Who's their last pick? Who are they going to bring in the support here?
Brand. Okay, that's a very different style of support than we've been seeing. But
I don't. How do you feel about the drafts here? Who are you giving the edge to?
I think Outlaws won this draft.
I agree. I agree.
I think Legion, I think they're probably all on characters that they're comfortable with. Although the Brand I'm a little questionable about just because that doesn't seem to be his style. But I don't know how well they all work together. There's no real front line. They don't have a good way to force a fight. I think we're going to be seeing Outlaws, assuming they can play to their strengths, to kind of dictate the pace of this game a little bit.
Especially with that Sejuani Pike combo here, like if they get a pick here, we're going to see a lot of issues. That being said, the disengage of the Veigar cage and the Yasuo knockup, as well as Teemo Shrooms, if Teemo uses his Shrooms properly this game, that's what you really need to play around. They are definitely trying to not engage in team fights and go for these picks and then kind of like explode onto them, especially with the Brand Teemo powerhouse.
Yeah, if they're able to disengage when Outlaws try to force a fight, they're going to have a lot of damage coming out from that Yasuo, Veigar, Brand combo. Those characters are just going to be shelling out the damage, basically, at will, as long as you can keep those divers like Pike and Sejuani off of them.
The AP is going to be the thing for our viewers. There is two main kinds of damage in this game. There is AD, which stands for attack damage or physical, and there's AP, which stands for ability power or magical. So the magic carries on this Legion team is Veigar, Teemo, and Brand, who are known to do a lot of magic damage very quickly. So if they can get going and get those items that are really going to make them do a lot of damage, they will eat through the Lucian, the Annie, and the Pike.
Yeah. I think Garen and Sejuani have not the easiest itemization ever, but I do think that just a couple good magic resist items, and they're going to force either Brandon Vagar to build some magic penetration, or they're going to be soaking up a lot of that damage. And I do think this comes back to Outlaws. They have a front line in a way that Legion just kind of don't. I'm not super stoked about the Viego pick. It was pretty good last game, but I think the team composition has changed a little bit. I would have liked to see a tank in the jungle potentially.
I agree. I think the Viego is definitely the comfort pick for this example, and this is the weakness. And when we go over team comps, the biggest thing that I stress to them is the importance of some sort of initiation. You know, you really do need someone to start these fights, and in this situation, I don't see any way for Legion to force a fight. Maybe a Vagar cage in an aggressive position, but
yeah,
you know.
An aggressive Vagar cage, or if they're able to control the vision, the flanks from Viego can be huge here if he's able to do them, execute on those well. But that's always a very risky play. It's kind of high risk, and Viego, he can only pull off those engagements if he's able to get behind them, and if he's spotted trying to do that, it's going to be over.
Agreed. I think that it's really going to be telling how they play this game out. I think if they get an early lead, sure, but I think what the bot lane is going to have to play around is a potential over-aggression from Pyke Lucian. That being said, there's not really such a thing as over-aggressive for Pyke and Lucian. They want to fight, and they want to fight all the time.
I mean, there's always such a thing as over-aggression, especially when you are against a brand who can be pretty scary in terms of if you don't get on him quickly, the amount of damage that brand is going to be doing to you, even just in lane early on in the game, is going to be pretty tough to handle.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is going to come down to whether or not... looks like we might have to get back
System error
into game here, unfortunately.
I want to say no on that.
Computer crashed. Hang on.
I think a lot of what this is going to come down to is whether or not they're able to pounce on that brand when they start fights. I actually think he should be the priority target for the bot lane when they go in.
Let's reconnect there and see what the stream is doing here. I agree. I think the brand damage is going to be the mystery of that bot lane, because I don't think they're expected to deal with it, especially with how much AP. There we go. We're going to load back in here. The brand could do a lot, especially if they're unaware of his ulti, but the Yasuo windmill is not on the other team, so there's not going to be any worries about it. So here we go. We're going to start the game off. How the game always starts, these guys are stuck in the base. The base is your option to buy your items, to spend your gold that you unlocked, and then they run out onto the map to see what's happening. So we'll see if they did a cheeky invade from the Outlaws last time.
And I think
Legion,
Outlaws...
sorry.
It was Outlaws last time.
Oh, yeah, it was
right?
Outlaws. Yeah, you're right.
I think Outlaws are the only team that have the composition to really go for that again this time. But again, good early vision here from Legion. That ward in the mid lane brush towards bot side is that they used that same ward last time to see Outlaws coming, and I think it's going to spot them this time as well if they go for something.
Yeah, they learn from their mistakes. There's no Nautilus here alone. Now, there is no Nautilus in the game, of course, but you know, these guys are definitely grouped up. They're worried about an invade. I don't think they should be in this context, because there's not really anything they can do to start the fight off, but they could themselves look for an invade if they were feeling cheeky.
Yeah.
No, they're going to just use standard defense.
Yeah, both teams, they're not looking for an early fight right now. I think Legion knows they're probably not going to win it unless they have a really good opportunity, and Outlaws, I don't think they quite have the confidence to risk it on that level 1 play. Level 1 plays are always pretty volatile.
Agreed.
So
it's very risky, and especially when you're down 1-0 in the series here. There's no, never mind.
Speak too soon.
Here they come.
They're getting the vision down.
Okay.
Pike, the
Under
hook,
sun
and
the
that
brand,
brand is
that's
just
huge.
dead.
That's huge. They're going to take away this blue buff from Viego. Again, stealing the blue buff.
2 late invades in a row, and Legion just doesn't have an answer to it.
Yasuo is alone. Sejuani.
No, but
no.
he saw the others go through Tri-Brush on that vision Legion had there.
What is he doing? He's thinking about it.
I think Sejuani's just got to leave. There isn't more play to be found
Okay,
here.
so Viego goes to their Wolves, which I think is the smart play here. Maybe Sejuani was waiting for a Gromp play, but they didn't actually go for it.
I mean, they didn't even have vision on the Gromp.
No, I agree. That's what I was making. All right, so here's Teemo doing his job, really bullying this Garen. So, like, they forced the Garen out here, which is a really good play from them to make this top laner uncomfortable. And let's see how the Garen deals with this pressure, because being under your comfort champion is a huge deal. You know, like, it cannot be stressed enough that these characters are very, very different, and to play one versus the other is the difference between, you know, your favorite sweater and something that's not at all what you're used to.
Or it can even it's not quite this big of an extreme, but it's almost like you're playing a slightly different game depending on the character that you select. That's another big hook out of the pike.
Oh, the flash
does
the
have to stun with the flash, but
okay, that's huge for this bot lane. Like, they were really concerned about this Yasuo. I think they wanted to ban it, but tournament draft made that undoable. So this is that aggression they're looking for. And like we talked about last matchup, the Lucian and Yasuo is aggressive. They both want to fight.
Yeah, and it's coming down to, I mean, kind of what we were saying before the game started is that Brand, if you get on him, there's nothing he can do.
Good
really.
Hook again. And
all the Brand brings is damage. So if you just lock him down and kill him, there's not much that he brings to the table as a support.
I agree. I think that's the danger here, is what does this bot lane do, right? Because I think they want the Yasuo to start getting some damage and scaling, but you're looking to fight, and this is the team comp. Like, here we go again. Another pick into a stun, but the wind wall is huge.
The wind wall stops the stun. I forgot that interaction worked that way.
Burns the flash for Pike there. Okay.
Okay. Very good wind wall. I think that saved Brand's life there.
Very much so. I think that's how they're going to have to play it, is Lucian. If they hook the Brand, which is what they're definitely trying to do, Yasuo's got to be defensive and keep that wind wall up. That being said, it is a 20-second cooldown.
Yeah,
so.
and I think Pike's hook is slightly shorter cooldown.
Yeah, by a lot actually for the viewers at home. But let's check in on our jungle matchup. They're just farming away. Viego is behind a little bit because of that early blue steal, but is now looking for a mid gank. Let's pan over to that. Nothing's going to happen here. This shadow on your screen, this kind of green leftover, is Viego's ability that lets him move there invisible. However, if you see it, there's a chance there's a Viego in there, so you usually run away. So very well played by Devin on Annie there. And Viego's just going to go farm, and Sejuani's here. So we got a peaceful, I wouldn't say peaceful, but besides the bot lane, which is... Ooh, can't win wall tower shot. Pike's looking for it.
I
solo
think...
bolo?
Does he have stun?
Let's check. Up, weapon one.
Ooh, and he nails
That's a huge 2v1 from the Pike. You know he's feeling it now.
Really, really, really good decision to capitalize on that mistake there in Garen.
And the Garen taking the advantage in a Teemo matchup is unheard of. That's really, really good for the Garen.
I think what it really is that Garen, he's playing so safe whenever the Teemo tries to trade, and then what little damage... For those of you watching and aren't as familiar with the characters, Garen, whenever he's not in a fight, but we might actually have some action
Teemo
here.
W
I think
important.
Teemo's out.
Sejuani
Yeah, they're not going to try to dive that.
Yeah.
So whenever Garen is out of combat, he regenerates his health a lot faster than other characters in the game. That's one of his abilities. So he can weather the storm of this range advantage that Teemo has and keep his health bar topped up. And whenever he does get on the Teemo, he's going to deal some serious damage.
Sejuani is exploring the enemy red quadrant here. He won't find a lot, but it's throwing some vision down, which is honestly very important. Oh, wow. What happened there? This Teemo is on a knife's edge in this top lane. Is running TP, so can come back to lane pretty easily. But, you know, this is Sejuani's going for the grubs again. Oh, wide hook.
Oh, still going for it, though. Gets the stun on both, but Lucian...
Okay, good dash.
Great dash to keep the spacing.
Away. Okay, this is fine.
Okay.
Very, very interesting trade. Like we talked about, volatile bot lane down here. It could go either way. So far is going the Lucian Pike matchup, which was kind of what we expected, considering the brand player is definitely on an off pick here. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But honestly, in spite of that early advantage that the Pike and the Lucian have gotten, I do think that, it hasn't just yet translated into a massive item lead. So if Yasuo and Brand can find some good plays, find some good trades, they could turn that lane around, but their window to do that is closing.
I think what they're going to have to do is rely on the Pike over aggression. I think just by watching the plays recently, this Pike is looking for kills every chance he can. Okay, that's
does nail the stun. He has a opportunity
fine.
to hook. Okay,
Good
now the
windwall.
windwall's going to say no. Oh,
That's really good. This is what we're talking about. Just like
yep,
I said,
a little over aggressive by Pike, and I do think he goes down
Yasuo
here.
gets
Yup.
it.
Just at the edge of the range for that.
Yasuo.
Ooh, the tornado doesn't quite connect.
Lucian has no mana. If he had mana, I think he'd go for this. Oh, dashes in. Lucian, go crazy. Flash for it.
No. Not safe.
No,
Viego's there too.
For the gank. Yasuo, he wants it so bad. but Lucian can't leave this wave. So this is waves are referred to like waves of minions, and they're worth a lot of golden experience. If he wasn't here to absorb this, he would be a pretty big loss for him. So Lucian does a good job of not going crazy. Hats off to that. I would have gone crazy. So I'm really happy that he kept his nerve there. Maybe he's smarter than I am there by not being aggressive, being down 1-0 in the series.
Well, we're already seeing more shrooms out of Timo than we did last game, so
Yeah, that was a big part of the coaching session.
good adaptation.
Yeah, hit that R button whenever you can. If it's up, I want you to press it. So that'll be good. I think that will give Garen something to think about at the very least. I think especially if Timo plays it right, he will beat the Garen pretty bad with once he gets his first couple of items that chunks out his HP. It's game over, or at the very least, very difficult.
Mid lane's been awfully quiet so far, and that's kind of what we expect from an Annie-Veigar matchup. These characters, I think it's a pretty even matchup between the two of them. They both have decent range, they both have pretty high burst damage, and they both have ways to lock each other down. So they're kind of just farming it up, waiting to see if their team wants to make any plays around them. But I think both of them are happy to just kind of look at each other while they kill minions for the time being.
Yeah, something to be mindful of. Oh, Vego catches
Over
Sejuani trying to
aggressive invade.
No smites. The red buff goes to Sejuani, who can blast Cone out of there unless.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's okay.
She's out safe.
Vego did have smite up, it looks like. So maybe just panicking there. Timo got blood in his eyes, going for the Sejuani.
I don't mind this chase. It's certainly going to force Sejuani.
I like it. I think he can get him.
Out.
He can get him.
She's re-engaging.
Because the Garen's there. One more auto. Oh, really good punish.
Wow.
Really good punish. Now, they should be able to take this blue buff.
Great awareness from top to come
They're
help
not going to
there.
take the blue buff. Sejuani, no. Viego, go back. That's a shame. I think what they could be worried about is the fact that they don't have mid priority, and the Annie could roam. Okay. The bot lane
More
fight's
action
going on.
in the bot lane.
Dashes in, really aggressive.
Lucian! We saw this last game. Ooh, he gets away with it.
That's, again, very big deal in this bot lane. Yasuo is feast or famine.
Really starting to snowball for this bot lane duo here.
Wait, so I mean, they really were worried about that that Yasuo pick, but the Pike is a really good answer to it.
Yeah.
You match the aggression with the aggression, right? Fight fire with fire.
Yeah. Well, and the Pike, and on top of target banning all of those potential support partners that
really smart.
Legion was trying to run for the Yasuo, just forcing them to tone down that aggression, or at least punishing them for when they turn it up. And this might be a big pick. I love the exhaust under the Veigar.
1 HP.
And that
and he recalls standing exactly. Wait, Yasuo?
He's got to move. He's got to move.
He's crazy.
He should not recall there.
Yasuo, he's thinking about it. Oh no, he egos. Not like that. Oh, not like that. Brand gets out, or the Pike gets out, but that was a heartbreaker.
Should be safe, yeah.
Oh no, he disrespected. Really good on Viego and the Yasuo to punish that. You can't be disrespecting people like that. You got to go to safety.
Oh man.
That's crazy. Oh, he's getting some question mark pings in there too. Like that's rough. But like we talked about, it is only 1 or 2 decisions in League of Legends that can really snowball together. It is very much a game of momentum and seeing. Oh, speaking of that, Pike going the over aggression. He's got no one to support him.
Okay.
Mid lane gank on Annie. She's dead.
Yeah.
Right? Surely.
No flash.
Okay,
yeah.
she gives it to the Veigar. Very good. Teemo, okay. He can't, even though he's blinded, that Garen ability will go through and damage the Teemo.
I actually think that this Garen has a pretty good matchup here.
Yeah. Oh, Teemo, I don't know if that's the play, buddy. There's a lot of CS for you to get. This is... minion block! Oh, that's frustrating for Garen. Guess what goes into the Pyke? Okay, nothing really comes out of it. Pyke, having that E up, I think, is huge. If Pyke wastes that E, he's going to get punished for it pretty heavily. The E is the name of his name. It's the letter he presses to use that ability, but it's his dash that stuns people. Teemo still in his lane. The W key really, the W key speeds him up. It's an ability that lets. I think it's literally called like move quick.
Yeah, it's just called move quick.
Yeah, he came out in 2009, so that was a long time ago. Okay, so even though the bot lane is really popping off here, it is a close matchup. The Veigar, the important topic to mention, Veigar has a mechanic, an ability that is called infinitely stacking. What that means is every time, that ulti did no damage?
Yeah.
That was kind of crazy. And he stands her ground.
Oh gosh. What Q?
Yeah. Veigar's Q, which is that like kind of poke purple. Timber is actually going crazy. Sejuani? Oh, the really good cage. What Veigar does is, as he gets more minion kills and hits people with that ability, okay, huge in the brand, into the ulti, misses the ulti, but okay, Lucian still gets it, that's fine. But they're really making sure I don't get my point across. Veigar will get infinitely more. Lucian is going... He emotes with him.
Great
Ignite.
Oh, the stun misses.
Oh, Pyke should have stayed. Yeah, you can't be dash. Okay, Pyke is... He's got no ult reset here, which is...
Yeah,
disrespects him.
The Q's enough.
That's fine. And what I was trying to say, Veigar can get infinite level of AP. So eventually, if the game goes long enough, there is nothing that will save you from his point-and-click R button, which will just instantly kill someone.
Yeah, and to be fully clear, when we say infinite, it ticks up quite slowly, all things considered. Correct. So it only really starts to become a huge factor if this game goes longer than, say, 40, 50 even minutes. Usually games don't go over 50 minutes these days, but you never know. And I actually think that is going to be one of the big tickets for the Legion to fall back on in this game, because I think they have a team comp that is relying on winning the early game, which we've seen. It's been back and forth. It's actually been a lot more explosive, I would say, than last game. And another pick. The ult's not quite enough, but I think,
Max, right, yeah. So this is going to run away real quickly. Unless they can stop this bleeding, it's going to be difficult to deal with this Veigar if he's just able to kill anyone.
I think Veigar is slowly becoming the win condition here for the Legion.
Lucian calling.
Because Outlaws, this bot lane is just ramping and ramping. Other than one or two mistakes. Another hook might be coming out.
This is the over-aggression from Pyke. Lucian's got to shoot him there. The flash out.
Good flash out and stuns them both to get away.
But like I said, the follow-up from Lucian has to be more aggressive here. If he's got all these kills, he's got to do something with it. That being said, Sejuani has just been grinding on the top side. Really
intelligent play, again, by the jungler for the Outlaws. Moving across the map, they are going to be pressured here, though, by Viego and Veigar coming back. Dodges the cage, dodges the bomb, but it's not quite enough because so many people are here.
He's so tanky.
Not able to dash away. So he tried to use the dash out, but the Viego actually body blocked it. So Sejuani, her dash will stop the moment she hits an enemy champion, because it's often used as an engage tool, but it does mean if you're trying to use it to get away and you hit somebody, it can kind of look like you're just face planting.
Bot lane is going to be okay. I think they should be. Pick this brand.
That's a good hook. There's just no follow-up.
Lucian's got to be popping the culling here. He hasn't really used his ult well this series. And now I am harsh on him because I am a Lucian player. So again, I think it makes sense to be a little cautious of using your ultimate like that. They're 4-man committing. They're preparing for the dragon.
Yeah.
Which is smart.
And I think they should have it here. Yeah, if Pyke and Lucian are recalling, that's basically signaling that the Outlaws aren't planning on contesting this. So that's going to be.
That being said,
I mean, maybe goes for a steal.
He throws
but
the ward. They know. That's too early.
An early dash. The cage misses. Not able to pull it off.
It's just too aggressive. I understand what Tommy's trying to do here. He wants to be the hero to the play, and I think it's a good idea. He just needs to wait a little bit. It is to attempt what he is attempting. It's called a smite steal. It is very hard to do, and it is perhaps probably one of the hardest things junglers have to do.
Yes.
But it is possible also of being the hero play. Like it is, too early in the ulti, but maybe does he get the reset? I want to say no.
No, I think the player has to die while the ult is actually.
He used
on
the Cully.
field. Oh,
Hey, that's
blocked by the
okay.
minions though, but it's a good attempt.
Oh,
Oh, no,
the Viego
Viego's here
one.
and Pike has abandoned him. Oh, but he gets out.
misses.
It's
He
okay.
misses.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Pike is hovering around. Pike is really feeling himself here. He's loving this aggression. Jaden is an aggressive player. He doesn't really love the support role, but when he gets on these kind of champions, I think he really enjoys it. He's a Gwen main of all things, which is a carry champion to the nth degree. But this is going well for both teams. We're only seeing like about a 1.5k gold lead.
Oh, Yasuo stepping up with very little health.
The dash,
that's a very good dash.
Into the exhaust. Okay, free kill. I think they fight this. They should turn. Yeah. Lucian just absolutely not. I'm out.
Yeah. Lucian and bot lane just not on the same page for the Outlaws, but it's okay. Pike, this is one of the issues of dealing with a Pike. He is such a slippery champion. He has so many little ways to get away. He can go invisible. He can dash. He can stun you.
He is a notorious pain to play around.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, I'm really unsure how this is. Enter the shrooms. Very good defensive shroom line he's got set up here. These mushrooms are they are just time bombs there that if you walk into will do a huge chunk of damage and slow you down. Garen does not have any way to really dash or get into Teemo's face. Annie, good movement. Got a little lucky there, but good movement. I'm going to check Veigar's. I would keep running, Annie. Yeah, checking
I think Sejuani's coming to help. She should be fine. Yeah.
Oh, misses the LT. That's okay. I like the idea.
That's a good play, actually, or at least a good idea.
Veigar's at 142 extra ability power, which is, at this point in the game, that's a significant amount.
He's been stacking it up.
Yeah, for reference, most items that you get, Pike's going for, okay. He's alone, and he's going to try and follow up, but I think don't walk into the wall.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, at this point in the game, his R button is just going to delete Annie every time.
Wow.
But for reference on ability power, the most powerful ability power stat you can get by default is 80, and that's like a very expensive item.
Doesn't Deathcap give 120?
Well, I'm talking like singular purchase.
Okay.
But like, yes, Deathcap will give 180. Lucian, you got to get out of there, man. Pike sees the Viego, not really sure why he's leaving his Lucian alone in this lane.
Yeah.
He's
not accomplishing too much, and that gives Yasuo. Was that first tower? No. Okay, I think Blue already.
Okay,
Pike
can clean up. Lucian's just got to stay not away from that. Yeah, Lucian should just chill.
Yeah,
Pike can just walk up and kill these guys. Yeah, free kill there. Another one here. Just auto Q burns the. Don't love that flash burn there because he's just dead.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, Pike here. I mean, here's the thing that we talked about. It is not a support champion in the sense that you're getting all these kills, but if Pike makes a mistake with how much gold he has on him, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. You know, the team is basically relying on him.
Yeah, well, I think he's certainly become part of their win condition, but this Lucian is also huge at the moment. And actually, Garen has had the lane go pretty strongly in his favor, so it's really only through mid lane that it feels like the Legion have a winning matchup right now. And so they're going to be wanting to play around this Veigar. I think that means they want to end this laning phase early. They want to try to force the Outlaws to group up because Veigar thrives in those team fight conditions.
Okay. The ulti doesn't absolutely one-shot her yet, which is good, but I think if he didn't Q those minions there, she was dead. But yeah, I agree with you. I think they need to get out of this lane phase. I think they want to try and force around Dragon as much as they can with their one Dragon lead here, which they are looking to do. Lucian is alone, and there's the pings on Lucian. He's dead.
And he doesn't have vision. He's actually walking towards them.
He's dead.
He might be trying to ward. He is, but those wards are coming out a little
There's no tower to fall back to. He's got to dash away from that. Oh, there's a flash.
And a good
and the
flash,
minion wave.
Actually.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if anyone can catch up, but yeah, he gets the ultimate off. And
that solution pushed up too much. Like you talked about, no vision around him. I mean, as an AD carry, man, I got to come to his defense. His support's middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, which at this point, the Lucian and the Pike should be rotating mid to take that wave.
I think at this stage in the game, I like the Pike roaming. Bot lane is basically already won, so it's good to start pressing that advantage in other lanes, which they are doing.
Yeah.
Lucian just got to play a little more safe around that, though.
They could Baron here. No, they won't. I think it is an aggressive call. Don't
It
get
would
me
be
wrong.
very aggressive. I think they could pull it off, but yeah, if they haven't already started,
It's too
that
late.
window's basically already.
Because they are.
gone.
I mean, they're giving Drake here, so that's what I mean, that's what I would call for.
Yeah.
But
And you can see how annoying these mushrooms are. They just cleared that whole wave, basically, other than the siege minions. So those mushrooms, now that we're actually starting to see them on the field, they're going to start causing some problems for these pushes top lane.
and we do have a fire drake spawning. So fire drakes are very powerful. They make you do a lot more damage. So we'll see who gets those. If you get a fire soul, especially on the damage that either of these teams has, it's going to be a rough time.
The Fire Dragon also adds a very fun mini game to the map. These little
Gosh, the wrong way.
orange embers you can see scattered around that people are now picking up. That will give you a CDR buff, which is it basically means your abilities are going to come off cooldown a little bit faster as you pick them up. But you drop all of them when you die. And then other people can pick them up.
It is a fun aspect. I really enjoy what they've done to kind of make the game a little more interactive with these souls. Pike is it once again.
Oh, Yasuo really far forwards, and the stun lands.
And he's dead.
He's
He's dead. That's. I mean, this is like. Oh, Garen is
And
going
they're
in
gonna
there. This
continue
is
the
good. The culling, beautiful. The exhaust comes out. Okay, this is fine. Vigo goes back in. Oh, there's so much
Good
CC.
cage.
So much, yeah, that's what we talked about. Is that this is going to be their key. The Veigar disengage from that. Annie walking up
Oh, the stun!
into the.
It goes
but
far
gets it.
wide, but it's okay. They
They're
still made
committing
it
to
to
this.
collapse.
Timbers is going
and the hook
crazy.
on the Viego? Not quite okay.
This is really good. This is really good for Outlaws.
Yeah, they just got to disengage here. They can't quite go that deep. But
I like the
Outlaws,
call.
really good plays here in the mid lane. Great stun.
Yeah, the Annie's. I was a little cautious about the Annie walking up like that, but the Sejuani, great job following it up. Like the ult missed for sure, but she was there when she needed to be.
Yeah.
This should be not a mid tower per se, but I think they could have been more aggressive there, to be honest, in trying to dive that. Because the Sejuani was on that page. Tommy knew what was up.
Shades of Xmithy, Sejuani playing almost perfectly, but then missing the ultimate.
Yeah, Xmithy is, for those of you who don't know, which is probably everyone, Xmithy is one of the greatest North American junglers of all time. An incredibly wet, talented player who notoriously would miss his ultimates. But, you know, they're kind of in the same vein. Him and Xmithy and Tommy have been going for crazy steals. So, you know, maybe we have the next Xmithy right here in our vicinity, which would be huge for North America, low-key. I don't... Okay, Sejuani is also, same thing, absolutely intent on taking every possible camp from Viego. It kind of feels personal. Q over the wall, very smart play for Sejuani. She's getting away with absolute highway robbery here.
He's being super slippery on these invades, and it's really paying off. This Viego is behind.
Yeah, a little level down. Let's check their items here for a minute. Viego has Sundered Sky and is building towards Triforce, I think, whereas we already have Koenig, Rukern, and Sunfire completed.
Two fully completed items on the Sejuani. That's a big advantage.
Lucian, ooh, be careful of that Veigar. He will kill you so fast. Pike just
Outlaws are
walking
just trying to
melee.
force it. They blow the wind wall, and actually
Okay.
they don't have to spend much to do that, so they could re-engage here. Sejuani's coming down from the top lane.
Garen's
It
coming
doesn't
down
look like
mid.
Legion have much vision, so
The
this might be a
stun?
flank.
Oh,
Viego-
huge
Veigar
punish
just
on Veigar. Keep going, keep
overextends.
going. Oh, the Sejuani ult misses, but he's still going.
Still got the engage.
Burns the flash. Okay.
I think Legion, with that hook missing, they're out of there. So only one kill. That could have gone way worse for the Legion if Sejuani had gotten a better flank.
But that's really
Viego.
good movement on the Outlaws' part. Brand. Oh, missed the hook there. I don't know what
I
happened.
think it hit a minion, maybe.
Maybe it might have been not even charged up properly. I think it was a short queue. Okay, so I mean, here we go. Oh, Sejuani.
I think this game is starting to look really good for the Outlaws to tie up the series here, because I feel like Legion, they're the ones playing the early game team, and yet Outlaws have been forcing a lot of these early game plays and pushing their advantage. The Veigar is going to be their main way.
A triple stun.
Back into this one.
No, Pike got shut down by Yasuo. That's a big deal. But Yasuo's dead.
Oh,
No, he's not.
Oh, he gets out. Oh,
He gets back
the
into the
ult.
ult.
Oh, my goodness.
Garen kills him,
Okay,
though.
he still
This
goes
is fine.
down.
And he's just... so...
Viego becomes Annie. Yeah, which we have not actually explained this
The
bit about Viego, have we?
Yeah,
we
so-
can do that in a bit. After
Yeah,
the
hold on. Veigar's still there. He's the thing is like if Veigar comes back, this fight is
Yeah.
the problem they have, and this is why I don't love the Yasuo bot lane pick. Besides it being awful in terms of playing the lane, Veigar's going crazy. No, you can't kill the Sejuani. This is the problem. There's no one that can kill the Sejuani.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna get stronger as the game
That's-
goes on.
Yeah, it's going to be a big problem. Teemo needs to get some anti-tank items for sure. I think Teemo is actually their main route for taking care of some of these tanks. For context, characters who deal their damage kind of in big bursts tend to be less effective against really, really hard to kill, like high health, high resistance champions, whereas characters who deal damage, I don't want to say more slowly, but
DPS
more consistently over time damage, like a Lucian or a Teemo, they tend to be better equipped to deal with those tankier characters.
We have a fight
and
brewing.
Teemo is really caught out here.
They're going to leave. The Veigar cage needs to be there.
And the cage for the disengage.
This Veigar pick is probably the biggest reason that Legion is allowed to kind of stay in these fights. But when it's down, that you can punish that really heavily.
Veigar is absolutely keeping them in the game right now. That's a really good wind wall to stop that hook attempt.
That was close. But look at the Sejuani. She's pretty much even though they're hitting her 5-on-1 here,
she's taking so many hits and she
just walks away.
75% Annie a little far forward.
Teemo.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening. There's no vision in that bush. No, there's vision in the bush now. Okay.
Neither team is fully committing. And then finally Outlaws.
This has got to be a Baron play for Legion. This is a major mistake from the Outlaws here.
A couple big fights in a row have brought Legion right back into this game, actually.
Yeah. They should Baron. They should have Baroned here.
Yeah, I think they're just going to be content with the dragon. It looks like, they're trying to push to Soul Point, and I don't mind that play. The dragon's a little bit safer. Maybe they can get some wave pressure as well. I feel like they probably could have pressured mid lane turn a little more in addition to the dragon, but they decided to just go straight there.
And this is still it's a very good game, especially considering the people got pushed off their comfort champions. I think it could still swing any way in one team fight. It really is going to go down to just that one play that'll make the difference. Pyke is, again, alone here. Okay, good W out of there.
That move speed was incredible from the Pyke.
Yasuo going into Annie alone. He's dead.
Yep, just too far forward. Team can't help you there.
Lucian. Lucian.
Okay, Pyke's able to discourage Veigar from following up on that one. And
he had the reset. I think he just wanted to use that.
You're right.
So we're fine here. Let's see how this plays out. Pull the Teemo. Oh my God! Instantly dead.
Oh man.
This is bloody. I don't even know what's happening exactly. Veigar goes back in. Veigar is just punishing there.
Is
Annie's dead.
Tearing this team apart.
Oh, the Outlaws. This is a rough play for them. I think what's happening is they're just unsure how to play around this team fight they were trying to build.
Yeah. It's unfortunately similar to the big error that lost them the game last
Lucian
time.
stands still in the brand
They
image.
are not on the same page. Lucian was not there for that fight until at the very end just then when Sejuani's trying to get away. So they're taking disadvantaged fights. They are opting into fights with Legion where they don't have the numbers. They don't have one of their most important characters at this point. Lucian is one of the characters that they have gotten big advantages on, and they're not taking advantage of that.
Yeah, especially considering the lead they had in the early
Someone's
game.
got to help Diego take this Baron. They might not have the resources to actually take this down.
Baron heals up. This is not okay. So, although that fight went really badly for them, they don't really lose anything. The gold is still a 500, 400 difference. This is still anybody's game. It's just going to come down to how Legion takes these fights.
Yeah. Well, there has definitely been a swing. I think Outlaw had a couple thousand lead at some point, and it's gone back to basically even now. Legion have clawed their way back into this game.
Annie.
Some really good plays in Annie. Yeah, just overextending here.
But Pyke. Oh! Lines up for a free double. That's Baron if they do it right. There's pings onto it.
That is the Pyke fantasy right there. Two low people standing right
like
next
we
to
said, one mistake is all it
Yeah.
takes, and here we go.
And they're onto this Baron, and they actually have, I think, they are melting through this
But we have the flank coming down from the Veigar Viego. Okay, Pyke sees Teemo. They're sticking on the Baron.
Pyke's kind of going onto the wrong target, though.
Veigar's
the real threat is the Veigar and the Viego. If they can get in, but they don't. They just don't even go.
Oh,
They're
he
too
turns.
worried.
He turns onto Teemo. Teemo is leading him through the so many shrooms. Pyke just easy kill here, free. Yeah. Okay. now, okay, we in the span of maybe 2 minutes, we go from Outlaws losing a fight and maybe Baron to Outlaws winning the fight and taking Baron, and the game is now in a much more commanding lead from Outlaws. Let's see if they can play it out.
Everything is hinging on this fight, these fights that it almost seems like neither team really wants to happen. Like both teams are getting embroiled into scraps with one another before they really have enough time to set up, and it's meaning that the results of some of these fights are crazy.
I think half the time we're really unsure what's happening, in just terms of like the decisions that are being made. Besides, I mean, I think you can definitely feel the pressure these players are under. You know, the Outlaws know they are one game away. That being said, the momentum is really important, and Legion knows that although they can lose, if you give the momentum up to Outlaws here, you're now in a 1-1 situation. It gets much closer, but we'll see how it works. They're pushing mid. They are 1-3-1-ing, and that means they have one person in the top lane, 3 in the middle, and 1 in the bot.
Okay. That's a good tower take. Clean stuff, disengaging at the right time.
They're getting flanked by Vhagar and Yasuo on the bot side here.
Yeah,
but
so good call to back off. Sejuani alone on the bot lane. Team's got to be telling them to leave, and they're just sitting in the bush.
I don't know.
I think Legion has just assumed that they've recalled and aren't there anymore, and yeah, that seems to be what's happening.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, Yasuo decides to check.
Okay, the 1v1. I don't think Yasuo wins this. I think Sejuani does not care about his damage. Sejuani...
He actually managed to windwall the Sejuani's stun, which is technically a projectile, even though it's a point-and-click ability.
Sejuani is out of... She's going to die. She is deeply out of position here.
Yeah, now Vhagar's behind her. Viego and Brand coming quick as well. Yeah. Bit of an overcommitment there.
Oh, it's there. I mean, no. Yeah.
I think as soon as that stun gets blocked by
Teemo does die top, so they can cross map play here. Okay. You know, it was just actually Galaxy Brain from Sejuani.
And actually, yeah, I actually think the tempo goes to Outlaws here because they're getting the tower pressure. They're using this Baron to get the push. So
yeah. I think overall,
not a bad play for them.
You know, obviously we don't know what the players were thinking, but if Sejuani made the call, which it sounds like Tommy did, where they were pushing, they saw 4 showing up to kill Sejuani, which at this point it does take 4 of them to do that. They get a tower there, that's a lot of gold. As long as they don't lose this Fire Drake here, I think that's a fine trade. Especially with Viego clearing topside is not the play. You really want your jungler at these objectives because Sejuani is respawning in 4 seconds. So
yeah, Viego's still going to beat her to the dragon, but it's not going to be by a big margin.
Lucian. This
is a pretty critical play here. Legion, if they can secure this soul, that's going to be huge for them.
Oh, Annie gets caught. Annie's dead.
Yep. Oh,
burns the flash too. Nothing you can do about that. Okay, Pyke's going to go crazy.
Sejuani's not going to be here in time. Yep, and Pyke.
He did go crazy, but not. Yeah, you can't be doing that. It's a 4v3 here. Outlaws, the same thing we talked about as last time. They're not on the same page for these team fights.
Yeah, they just got to leave here. They don't want to be doing this dance with Legion right now, down numbers, and yeah, they are going to head out.
They are still. That is Fire Soul, by the way.
Yeah,
that is 4 drakes in a row.
That's huge for the Legion.
Yeah.
They have found so many little ways to stay in this game in spite of what I think was a really, really well played early game by the Outlaws.
I agree. I think the Fire Soul, especially with the Vhagar damage coming out, is going to be really difficult for them to manage. Add that onto the Teemo shrooms, the Brand damage. It's going to require some really well played moments or the Legion making a critical mistake for Outlaws to really clinch this game, which Garen is flanking them.
He is flanking, but the only one nearby is Annie.
Yeah,
so
Lucian's
this is
there too,
a bit
actually.
Risky. Oh, okay.
That's a flash from Brand. I would turn on the Yasuo here, Garen. Yeah, we're here.
Great call.
Keep going. Into the wind wall.
Big ult. Oh my gosh, Garen stayed alive a lot longer than I thought he could.
Yasuo's dead. Pyke got out of there.
Lucian also down. Wow.
Yeah, he unfortunately ulted into the wind wall there. The wind wall blocking all of Lucian's projectiles, which is the worst nightmare. Oh, and then Annie doing her best to get out of here, but
Outlaws trying really hard to force the issue, but the Legion, they're just too strong right now with the soul, and they had the numbers advantage as that play went on because not all of Outlaws were back on the map in the right position yet. It's starting to spiral. It's starting to spiral a little out of control for the Outlaws. The goal difference is still not huge, but you do have to feel like the tempo is solidly in favor of the Legion now at this point.
Vagar has 289 extra ability power. That is disgusting. That is a lot of damage he's bringing to the table now, and it will only get more.
Yeah, it's just going to keep going.
I think what they have to do is play around this the Sejuani and Pyke combo picks. They're like Pyke keeps going in without Sejuani to back him up, or vice versa, and that's what's causing them. They're desynced. They're not on the same page. That's just going to kill him. Yeah, Lucian's dead to that Vagar ult. Nothing you can do about that anymore. Like the Vagar has reached that hyperscaling point.
Vagar's got to become public enemy #1 for the Outlaws, and actually Sejuani might
burns the flash of Vagar, which is fine. Yasuo taking some tower shots. Vagar.
Oh. It's a really good stun.
They walk
the
into
cage
the wall.
just keeps them out.
Wait, the pull? He's
nice.
Not, yeah, he's dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
Oh, early in the ult, but that's fine.
That's okay.
Okay. That's a huge. They need to pressure Baron here. They have 20 seconds on Lucian. They need to get to Baron and get something out of this.
They can rotate top and pick off Yasuo potentially. No, he's backing off, which is the right play. So yeah, I think Baron's got to be the. This is where Outlaws can force the issue. Vagar's down for a full 45 seconds. This is why these mistakes get more and more punishing, because the length of time that you're dead.
Yasuo. He gets pulled. He's almost dead.
Definitely dead. And Sejuani's in the middle of that completely full health. Don't back off. Don't back off, Sejuani. Go back in.
Push. They can get this. Okay, back off here and just take the Baron.
These shrooms. The line of shrooms.
Oh my God.
They can bounce off one another.
Timo's standing toe to toe. He don't care. They're going to burn through him. They're at this point where their AP is too much. Lucian's going to go back him up. That's smart. He has Culling. Yes. Yes, Lucian. Culling.
Oh.
Shoot him in the face. You get him.
No.
One more. Yes.
Okay, he got
him. Dash. Use your Q. One more auto. Oh, he gets him. He's still dead.
The poison and the burn on top of one another.
Oh, what a brutal fight.
Oh, both teams just throwing themselves into the meat grinder there. Oh, man.
Oh, okay. Give us a second. I think the game ended and they left the game again, didn't they? They did. And the winner was, I can't tell. I want to say Legion probably took that W.
Looks like they might have.
What a crazy, yeah, they just ran back. So, or one team ran back. Outlaws ran back, so I think that means it. So we're gonna
Legion took it.
We're gonna switch. No, they all ran back.
Oh.
Who actually won? That's very important for us to find out. I really hope they all. Okay, we can switch and get ready to go.
Okay.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, we're going to find out who won for you in 2 seconds, but that was, we did, what's happening is when the game ends, if they click continue on the end screen, it kicks us all out, so that's why we're not able to watch the end of it. But we're going to find out who won that game and let you know, because either we're doing one of two things. We're going to go to game 3 of Legion versus Outlaws, or we're going to have Speechless play out. Legion won? All right. So Legion won. So they 2-0'd Outlaws, which I think was a very good play. So we're going to run and do an interview with them. So I'm going to pop this headset off and bounce over there and grab the Legion team. So we can have you close out for me in a second. But I'll see you guys in 2 seconds.
Oh, well, unfortunately, we didn't get to see how that one ended. But both teams really putting their all into that one. Oh, man. That was... And they are very excited out there about those games. We're going to cut over to an interview in just a second. Like he said, he's going to pull the Legion team together in that room and talk to them about that big win. And then we will move into our final game of the day, where you'll see our other team that's present here, Speechless, play some games today. And very unfortunate. Game 1, these technical issues are killing us. Game 1, we really did get to see the defining play that led to the end of that one. Game 2, a little bit unclear what happened. Both teams really going at it there. Still pretty even when it kicked us out. So we'll see. Maybe we can get a replay. I don't think so, probably, but we'll talk to the Legion. Maybe they'll be able to enlighten us about what happened.
We live? All right, I'm here with Jack, Sammy, and Finn, who are 3 members of the Legion who just took a W. Jack, how do you feel with that win?
I think it was really stressful, but in the end we pulled through. It was all about keeping a good attitude.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. That was definitely a back and forth game. You know, your Yasuo pick was pretty interesting there, Finn. What made you want to pick the Yasuo in that bot lane?
Because we had a ranged character already on the team, and I just wanted to try out a new champion.
Okay, so you think because you had a ranged top laner there, you wanted to bring the melee in. And Sammy, I got to say, you've only been playing for us for what, maybe a week and a half of really consistently getting him back in there. So your Teemo pick was good. How did you feel going into this game?
I sort of thought we were gonna make it to the 3rd game, and we didn't, so I was a little surprised about that.
And did you like how when you use your Teemo ultimate, your mushrooms, it became much harder for anyone to deal with you?
Oh yeah, just like place them in a line, no one could get through.
Yeah, you guys played really well. Can anyone tell me what a favorite part of the series they happened? Like which play or moment was your favorite that happened?
I think my favorite was when it was so perfectly timed how Baron was like a minute. It was like a minute or 2 before Elder. So by the time we took Baron, Elder was spawning, and they were like all dead. So we just ran Elder.
Yeah, I mean, I think your Veigar pick was really good there. You had like 350, 400 ability power extra by the end of that game. I think I watched you press R on a full health Lucian, and he did not live anymore after that.
2-shotted.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
The most impressive part was that it was my 2nd time playing Veigar.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about getting that 3rd pick there so you couldn't get banned, you know, because there were a lot of target bans in that series, but you guys played well, you know. So how do you feel now that you won? What's the overwhelming emotion you guys feel right now? Who wants to answer?
It feels pretty good. It's fun that I now get to play against my cousin, so.
I honestly don't really. I'm excited, but I'm not sure if we're gonna win.
Well, you know, I think no matter what, the fact that, you know, the team that you're about to play is definitely a team that has spent more time together, and they have the advantage in that aspect. But I think if you guys, like what you said, if you keep your heads on and you just pick a good team comp, because there won't be any bans against you. I think, yeah, we'll finish out the strategy against that, and you guys have bans against them, so you can kind of strategize. We will get pretty going quickly, but I think overall, really good job keeping your heads cool. You guys prevailed, and you should be proud of your time. So, you know, let's give a wave to anyone who is watching. You know, we got Jack, Sammy, and Finn here, and it was a pleasure having you guys play. I'm really excited to watch the next game. Cool.
teams. And I remember it was clear that Speechless had a little more experience under their belt, but Legion was not exactly far behind them. So I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. And we are actually doing a little bit of tweaking to balance it out. Speechless aren't going to get to ban characters from the other teams, so we'll see how that affects the way this plays.
All right, so we're going to have them start the draft now and get ready to get into it. I think we're going to see some champions we have not seen before because there are no bans from Speechless here. So let's jump to that when we can, and we'll start talking about the draft phase. I think it's going to be exciting. You know, let's see what they pull out of their hats.
Yeah.
All right. So to start the phase, these guys don't get any bans, so they're just going to either ban no one or they're going to ban some silly champions that no one is going to play. Let's find out how this works for them. Dun, 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 dun. Zaya ban, that's totally fine. That's not a character we expect to see. Now, this is where the strategy comes in on the other side of this draft. And Akali, okay, Akali is a very mobile assassin, so she is notoriously a pain to play against. So I like that ban. And let's see, they're going to ban someone that doesn't matter, and we'll take our time with it.
I wonder if they're going to try to spell something with their joke bans on the side of Speechless.
Yeah, I don't know if they're aware that that's an old meme. Back in the day, it would be very common to ban org names like CLG or TSM.
Yeah. With specifically with the first letter of the character's name that you're banning, you try and like spell a word to make some kind of joke. But yeah, it looks like we're not getting that.
Now, what's likely going to happen here is we're going to see an Aurelian Soul mid. Jack, the mid laner, is a very good Aurelian Soul, and at this point in time, Aurelian Soul is crazy strong. So we'll see how that plays. Besides that, looking at their top laner, they'll probably run, well, I think realistically they'll run the Teemo again. I don't know if they have any other options besides the Teemo.
Yeah, probably going to see the Teemo, and I mean, Aurelian Soul is crazy strong right now, so that's a comfort pick. I mean, we did see that ban the past 2 games, so Legion being able to pull that out here, that's going to be pretty big for them, actually.
I like the Xin Zhao ban. I think, so Max over on Speechless is a Xin Zhao, not one trick, but he's a very good Xin Zhao player, so I like that ban. I think taking the Nautilus for Daniel is important here. He's obviously very comfortable on that champion. And taking the Jax is interesting now. Yeah, there's the Yasuo again, so that's smart. So Speechless is they take the Viego. The Viego is a very popular champion here, probably because he's a carry champ. And the Veigar. Okay, Veigar is an answer to Aurelian Soul.
Yeah.
The reason being is because he has that cage we talked about last game, and Aurelian Soul does not want to be stuck in that cage. He's a character that likes to be able to get out of those situations and move around the map. So the Ornn is also a very good ban here. It's a tanky champion that can really cause a lot of turmoil in team fights. It is also someone that Milo, their top laner, who I believe he's I Like Cheese. No, he's Smiley Face. His brother is I Like Cheese. So their Lux ban as well is good. Lux is someone that they can run either support or they can bring in the mid lane. And there's the Teemo. Twitch makes sense. That's who they play a lot in the bot lane.
This is the first time we're going to see the jungle off of Viego, so I am interested to see what they pick up for the jungle here.
Probably Kane. That's who should go second. So I think they probably should have locked Viego second instead of the Yasuo, because I don't think that Speechless would have taken the Yasuo away from them. And there's the Kane.
And there you go. You called it.
So here we go. In terms of late game scaling, we're kind of balanced out with the Veigar and the Aurelian Soul. Both of those characters have that infinite scaling stack we were talking about.
Yeah, I think top lane is going to potentially be a bit of a problem here for Legion. Cho'Gath has one of the better matchups, I think, into that Teemo. I think they probably picked that one with that in mind. Because he's a character that he does kind of need to get on top of you, like a lot of the characters we've been seeing go against Teemo, but he has some ranged ways of locking you down and making it harder for you to get away. And he doesn't care too much about Teemo's blind. So Cho'Gath's going to have a lot of advantages in that lane.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the Teemo player has played against a Cho'Gath either, so that will definitely be a big factor in this. You know, I mean, that being said, if Teemo plays well, I think it does boil down to a skill matchup. The problem is that I don't think that Teemo has the skill to take on the Cho'Gath right now in his League of Legends career. But, you know, if he plays it well, if he uses his shrooms like he planned on doing last game, it could work out. I'm interested to see the bot lane matchup myself. I think that's where this will change because the Mr. Chickens, the Twitch player, is pretty new as well to League of Legends. He only has like 3 or 4 months under his belt. And as we talked about, AD carry is probably the most difficult role to get into because it's very punishing if you make a mistake. And into a Yasuo Nautilus, you make a mistake and you're dead.
Yeah. Thresh, though, as the support pairing for him, is going to be pretty versatile. He's very similar to some of the other supports we've seen come out today, like the Pike or the Blitz or the Nautilus, where he has this hook that he can use to lock someone down. He can be big on engage, but I think he's got a little more versatility than those other characters, where he can also play the disengage game and keep his lane partner a little bit safe. So if the bot lane starts to fall behind for Speechless, I think Thresh is going to have an easier time than some of the other supports we've seen so far, keeping that matchup stable.
Especially with Thresh's Lantern, it's an ability that he throws a lantern at someone that if they click that lantern, they are brought to the Thresh, the champion. It's a really, really good way of keeping your squishy character like a Veigar or a Twitch or a Viego who is out of position and too aggressive safe, especially if they get hit by the Nautilus and into the Yasuo. You just throw that lantern, you walk away, and you're good to go. So we'll see how that works out. I think it's definitely a feast or famine. If they start getting ahead in the early game, it's going to be tough on Speechless's side to, you know, or on Legion's side to deal with that.
Yeah, they do have some good scaling through the Aurelion Soul, and that could be a big advantage for them going into the late game. But yeah, I do think the scaling advantage here probably leans more towards Speechless. I mean, they have the Veigar that we talked about last game, but also Twitch is an incredible scaling character who is just going to get stronger and stronger as the game goes on. I think more so than probably that Yasuo will if this game goes late.
And it'll largely come down to how Yasuo uses his win wall ability. You know, if he win walls properly, we're going to do the same thing where it kicks us out for a minute and we reboot in. But if Yasuo uses the win wall properly to deal with the Twitch auto attacks, Twitch's ultimate ability is that his auto attacks they do a ton of damage and can pierce through everyone in the game, which is a unique thing. That being said, it can't pierce through a win wall, so that'll be the deciding factor. If he does that properly, nothing Twitch can do about it.
Yeah, that can be huge for shutting down this Twitch. And also Aurelion Soul, with that center of gravity that he can make, that slows and kind of pulls all of the champions to the middle, can shut down Twitch's aggression big time by disengaging. And I think the Acel is actually going to be probably the only form of disengage that this Legion team has. It's a similar issue that I think they've had with some of their other compositions that they've been able to play around, where they don't have too many ways to disengage. Last game they had the Veigar. This time they have the Aurelion Soul, but he's not quite as strong.
Yeah, I think particularly the Aurelion Soul is going to find out how frustrating the Veigar can be with that cage potential and the EWQ. So...
Oh, I love that cheesehead Twitch skin. That's so funny.
Yeah, he got it pretty instantly. I think it's a very funny skin. So let's see the defensive positions. Just to remind, Speechless is the team in the blue bottom left half of our map. They are the more experienced team, so they definitely are the favorites coming into this matchup. But Legion has the momentum and knowledge that they are the underdogs here, so they got nothing to lose.
Yeah. And I want to see Legion go for some crazy plays. I want to see them make Speechless uncomfortable. Don't let Speechless dictate the pace of this game, especially because I would say Legion, they've picked more of an early game focused composition here. So I think they're going to want to push the tempo of this game and try and close it out early. Otherwise, the Veigar and Twitch are going to scale out of control.
Yeah, they're going to need to make sure they put a pin in this game where they can. If they can get ahead in that bot lane, I think that will be the deciding factor. Even though we saw the lead in the bot lane last game not pan out for the Outlaws, the Yasuo has this exploding factor that he can just come into a game, especially if the Nautilus lands his ultimate ability, which knocks people up. How Yasuo works is he can only do this big burst of damage if people are knocked into the air, which thankfully Nautilus does for him.
Yeah. And actually, the Kayn, if this Kayn goes red Kayn, which I actually think would suit Legion's composition a little bit better. So for some context, oh, that's a clever steal actually by Speechless's jungler.
So that's smart. Max is a very intelligent jungler. He's taken to the role quite well and thinks about the game in the way that a jungler needs to, which is it's often considered the chess master kind of style, where you do need to be thinking a couple of steps ahead of your opponent. And clearly he is, because he's going to get this. Taking what's called the red buff there is a very big advantage for him, especially because it's the enemy's red buff there.
Yeah, and Legion no vision on that side of the map, so they have no idea that this has happened yet. And so Trill is going to arrive to his jungle, or not Trill, I'm sorry. Smiley's going to arrive to his jungle to find out that his entire top side is going to be missing, although they might actually meet here at the Wraith camp as Teemo
goes down.
Kayn
sees, you got to fight that Kayn. Yeah, Kayn good. Oh, no,
I think
wins
Viego has the advantage in this fight for sure.
There's the E, okay. So Kayn's off to a rough start here. Kayn is similar to Yasuo in that it is a feast or famine style character. They want to get going early and often, and so now that they've lost their entire red quadrant, and there's not really... Kayn could try to force a gank on the Cho'Gath, but I don't know if the Teemo will have the damage to follow that up.
Yeah, I honestly think the objective for Legion here in the top lane is to just try to make that lane as stable as possible.
Nautilus is dead to the poison.
No, might actually get out.
He's dead to the poison.
The poison
Yasuo,
okay, that's a pretty good win wall, actually. Twitch does need a couple auto attacks.
There you go.
Oh, into the great flash.
Wow.
Beautiful play there.
That's okay. So that's the bot lane getting very aggressive. Well done by the Thresh and the Twitch there in general. I think Yasuo didn't do a bad job trying to commit there, but it's just it's a rough spot to find yourself in.
Yeah, and this is what I mean about Cho'Gath. He's going to have such an easy time getting onto this Teemo that I think they're not going to be used to. They're not going to be prepared to deal with compared to some of the other matchups they've faced today.
Oh, yeah, and he's dead from there.
Oh.
So that's really unfortunate for the Teemo here. Cho'Gath is the third infinitely scaling character in this game. So his ultimate ability, which he gets at level 6, lets him do a huge chunk of damage to an enemy, and if it kills that enemy, he then gets a certain permanent buff that gives him max both health and size increase.
Yeah, the size increase is the funnest part of Cho'Gath. If he gets a lot of stacks, he will genuinely become cartoonishly massive, and it's very funny.
Yeah, right now he is just a small little guy, but give him maybe 10 minutes and you will see that that is not going to be the case, especially if he keeps this pressure up on Teemo.
Man, Speechless so far, they're controlling this game. I'm really liking what I'm seeing for the jungler, and this is a very good gank onto bot lane. The hook doesn't quite land.
Nautilus goes back in.
But no, they're just...
He's going back into his death here. Yeah. I think the hook's going to be up again. If he's lucky, it is a long cooldown at level 1. Okay, he does get away. No, he doesn't. Wow. The Twitch poison with the E from these expunge.
And you know, you say Twitch is their least experienced player, and they are just feeding him these kills. They're doing everything they can to get him ahead, and it is working right now. And so Legion, I mean, their options are becoming smaller and smaller with every passing play.
Oh, the Cho'Gath, that's they buffed the range, they increased the range of Cho'Gath's Q so that it can hit a lot further away, and that is definitely going to be an issue. Learning that range as someone who has a lot of experience in the game is very difficult to deal with, let alone not knowing what that champion can do.
Yeah.
Watch this hook here, Thresh. Yeah.
Whoa.
You take that in and play him
really
back.
Really good hook placements by the Thresh this game.
The exhaust there, not the ideal. Okay. Yasuo has no flash, though. He can't follow that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he burned it earlier. You know, and here's the really... Oh... That is deeply unfortunate. Cho'Gath is going... This is... Yeah, there's the ultimate ability. As you can see, he just chomps him. And I think that is unfortunately probably going to be the story of that lane, unless the jungler can gank. But Kayn is only level 4 and is behind currently.
Yeah. I think their route back into this game is going to be to focus some jungle attention bot and mid, which they are starting to do now.
The hook won't matter. Yeah, he gets him there. That's really good.
Pretty good gank. The kill does go to Kayn, which I don't mind.
No.
I would have preferred to see it on Yasuo probably, but...
Agreed.
at least it didn't end up on the no damage support.
Yeah, that's really what matters here. Every time you get a kill, you do get 300 gold, so it is very important that those kills go on to the characters that need that gold the most. Like we said, gold equals items equals damage, which means you win more fights and you win the game. So making sure that goes to the right person is very important.
Yeah, and everyone involved in the play does get gold, but the person who actually deals the killing blow does get a little bit more than just the people who got the what counts as an assist in League of Legends.
Yeah, and I think Teemo just needs to keep himself safe up here. You know, make sure he's using his W to stay alive. Just when he gets 6, make sure he's slowing down the Cho'Gath. He's really not going to be able to survive these. So we've got to pan back over. He's doing okay. Let's look at his CS, see what he's running. He is 24 to 36 CS. He's not that bad, honestly.
Yeah, it's not as bad of a CS lead as it probably could be, given the way that lane has been going.
And Aurelion Sol is stacking. He doesn't have any mana, which you can see as the blue bar underneath their HP. Neither does Cho'Gath. I don't know if Teemo's aware of that. These hooks are heat-seeking.
Yeah, weaving them around the minions too. So most of these champions with these hook abilities, they will hit the minion if it goes on to them. So a lot of times,
there's the Veigar hook. It is a very strong ability that it does more damage the lower health you are. So it's called an execute. And at that point, like that's the Aurelion Sol weakness here is he doesn't have a way to really deal with that besides kind of standing and fighting. Which he could try and do, but I don't know if he has the damage yet to stand and fight that Veigar burst. He's more of a damage over time kind of character.
Yeah, I think Veigar has the early advantage in this lane just because he can dictate the pace of it so much more with the cage and with how much quicker he can get his damage out than Aurelion Sol can. Aurelion Sol's really got to play for mistakes or play for jungle help. And if Veigar gets a good play on you, I think he basically just runs you over.
Yeah, Aurelion Sol has to. Here we're talking about the cage. Oh, but he dies to W. He tries to fly away. He's got to stand there and just hit him with that fire breath because that's what's going to do that damage if Veigar uses his abilities.
Yeah, once you're inside the cage, barring a flash, you're not getting out of the cage. So you're kind of forced to turn and take the fight there.
And this isn't like he has the damage if Aurelion Sol. It's going to be about the confidence and knowing the matchup. And I don't know if he has the time. Oh, Cho'Gath has built Heartsteel, which is an item that gets. It is an item that gives him another infinitely scaling mechanic, which honestly isn't as common as it is in this game. But every time that little kind of red orb shows up next to an opponent, he'll hit someone and do a bunch of damage, and it will give him more infinitely stacking health. Kane.
Does he have Grasp of the Undying as well? He does.
He does have Grasp.
The health for this Cho'Gath is just going to keep climbing and climbing and climbing, and later in this game, he's going to be very hard to kill.
The hook? Okay. Hooks misses this time. Yasuo, a little aggressive walking up like that, but he's okay. You know, the game is... It is ballooned into a 4,000 gold lead, which is a big deal this early into the game.
This is definitely the biggest lead we've seen for one team. Only 10 minutes in, I think, from our games today.
Now, that being said, I know we've been a little down on Legion here, but Speechless is notorious for getting ahead early and then kind of getting a little cocky about how the game's going off and losing. And all it takes is 1 or 2 bad team fights, as we have seen today, to really change a game up. So, although it doesn't look great for them yet, that's fine.
A really good play out of the Legion bot lane here.
Yeah, just stick on the Thresh. Good.
Yes.
Okay. I like the flash there. I think that's fine. I think that's a good use of your summoner spells. You need to get. Nautilus Hook, unfortunately, unlike Thresh's, does interact with objects. If it hits into a wall, it brings him to the wall. Teemo, something crazy here. He's staying prone. No, he shows himself now. He's dead. He's getting eaten. Yeah, the tower fall. Yeah. Okay. I liked the idea.
Yeah.
He was guerrilla warfaring there, and you could see that Viego's there
his
too.
Nerve a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. Honestly, there wasn't much. He was in a bad spot no matter what.
But yeah, if Teemo stands perfectly still for long enough, he actually goes invisible. It's one of his passive effects that can trigger. And if he had maybe just stood there, Cho'Gath might have never even known he was there. But
see, there's the ASOL damage. He needed to cancel that dub. He's going to get ulted here and die. Yeah, but it is there. He can counter it. He just needs to be careful about Wing, which is his fly ability, flying into the Vhagar wall. If he stops that early and just stands there and does damage, he could win these trades, which I think is going to be, if there's a way back into this game for Legion, that's going to be the window into it, is the Brilliant Soul.
I actually do like this play to Kane here. Does get stunned, but Vhagar has no ult, so I think he can keep going. But no, he tries to run away. Gives Vhagar time to get his cooldowns back, and yeah.
That's rough. Yeah, I think the Viego takeaway from the jungler was important there, because Mia is a very experienced Viego player and used to play a lot of Kane, but unfortunately now has played so much Viego. I think there's a little rust on that scythe of his. Here's the gank down there. Nautilus is, I think, too low to help. No, he's got no mana. Yeah, he's dead here as well. He flashes.
I think he probably dead to the poison.
Is going to be okay. No, he's at 30 HP. He's fine. But they're looking for more. They're looking to dive this guy. Don't love the windwall use there. I think he needs to wait for the hook to come out before he throws it, and then the Nautilus dies under tower. So, like I said, this is not looking good for Legion, but that doesn't mean they are out. Speechless could very easily throw this game. How also League of Legends? Okay. Yasuo shouldn't have eat through that Viego. I think he should have stood still and fight. Now the Kane's going to go in, but it is a 2v1, and the hook's going to come out in a second. Oh, we're going to skip back. He's going to make it out okay. We're going to jump to mid lane, and that's another kill from the Vhagar. It is looking rough here with an 8K gold lead at this stage in the game is a very significant amount.
Legion, to stop the bleeding, Legion needs to end laning phase now. They need to start grouping as a team. They need to start trying to make plays as a team. This is what you want to do when you're losing a game of League of Legends. It's your only route, especially if you're losing this badly in the early game, back in, is to get together as a full squad and try to make something happen. Because forcing a numbers advantage is basically the only way you're going to start winning fights now.
Yeah, at this point in the game, and Kane's going to get caught here by the auto attack.
Completely by themselves.
Yeah, and honestly, Twitch should push more aggressively here. I don't think he needs to be afraid of this Kane.
I think they're a little bit worried about the help from Legion, which is starting to pile in. They might have an actual play here.
Twitch, and there's the Lantern we were talking about, but if they stand on the Lantern, he can't go anywhere. Ulti Viego, this got to go to, yes, okay, it gets to Yasuo.
There's the Ace Soul doing so much damage on the back line.
He's got to stick to it, be confident.
They can chase here.
Yasuo's thinking about it. There's no Vhagar still for a while.
Oh, it's a really good play.
But he's caught by the slow. Okay.
Very
now
well done.
Teemo needs to get the heck out of dodge here. There's the Vhagar showing up to the fight, and he's dead.
Yeah.
Ult, yeah. That's what we call the gameplay button, where you press R on someone and they die. And it is, it is not something that.
Okay. I actually kind of like the aggression here. Dodges the cage with that.
Nautilus could hook. Nah. I think it was an aggressive dive here, but I mean, honestly, I think they should dive here because what do you got to lose? Like at this point, you want that kill on the Yasuo. He is going to be a part of your win condition. But, you know, the respawns are coming in, so that was a big deal. They've lowered the goal lead by about 2K there, so those small plays are going to add up.
Really, really good punish by Legion there. Unfortunately, they're not really able to get an advantage on the map about it, and then they overstay their welcome in the bot lane.
Oh, Kane needs
Speechless
to not be there
collapse. Oh,
Cho'Gath
my goodness, that damage coming out of the Vhagar is starting to get.
He's realizing. He's just going to ult him. No. Yeah, the Heartsteel stack. Let's check his Heartsteel real quick. He has. Can I see his? Oh, what a hook! But nothing to come out of it. He has 149 stacks already. He is 7-0. This is a nightmare scenario if you are anyone else other than the Cho'Gath.
Yeah, this Cho'Gath is going to be big and beefy. Aurelion Sol, minion wave is gone. You are a sitting duck.
He's dead again. Hook. Yeah, the Thresh hooks are really, really coming strongly. I mean, that's why I always recommend him as a character for support. You just can't. Oh, man.
Yeah. I think Thresh is in many ways the epitome of the support role. He kind of does it all. He has engage, he has escape. He's not perfect at any of it. He's the jack of all trades. But sometimes if you're, especially when you know the champion in and out, being that jack of all trades can just be really, really strong.
Yeah, it'll do the job. I think, you know, and Thresh is definitely in a spot where he can do the job.
Okay, they might have a good catch here onto Viego.
He's
focusing
reset.
The Nautilus and now becoming the Nautilus.
He's gonna hook in.
I actually think is gonna win him this fight. Now he's too tanky.
The reinforcements come down. Yes, and there's another kill. So they have lost all of their towers, and it is a 12K gold lead, which is rather insurmountable.
It's approaching insurmountable for sure. Without Speechless misplaying this pretty hard.
Which, here we go. Okay, burn the Thresh Flash. I like the aggression from the Aurelion Sol Yasuo combo. They know they got to make something happen, but this is an overstep. He flashes the wall, which is very important. Ooh, that was just his ultimate. And Teemo's
far
hot.
up
They flash for that. Okay. Yeah. And so now the Cho'Gath is still pushing top. I actually don't think, besides the Aurelion Sol, I don't know if there's anyone that can deal with this guy. He just needs to hit Q on him. And yeah, there you go. Just breathe on him and oh my lord, that is so much HP.
He's surviving for so long that the whole team is showing up. Now Veigar is here. Oh, they're all gonna go down.
Oh, there's just nothing you can do about that. Like, he is so tanky.
Yeah, Speechless have just endlessly pressed this advantage. They are playing incredibly well.
Yeah, it's let's see what happens here. They could. I don't think they can end the game here.
I think we know they don't end the game here because we haven't been kicked out yet.
Yeah, we still have vision of it. Let's see. I did tell them to stay into the game. As they're walking into the cage, this is it. Okay, yeah. Force the fight here into the Cho'Gath heart still stacks are just doing so. Oh my God, the Veigar damage is unreal.
Yeah, they get the knockup, but Yasuo's not there to take advantage.
There
that's got to be the ending fight.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, I think overall we knew that was likely going to be the scenario, so we're all set. So. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure to have you guys watching. This is the first ever esports stream event here at the Boys and Girls Club of Stoneham and Wakefield, but it was super enjoyable. All the kids here tried really hard. We've been practicing for months in this. Our goal is to continue to build up the esports scene here in Stoneham and Wakefield, really give these kids an opportunity to show what they're capable of and to build these teams. They love what they're doing. They're currently, you can't see this on camera, but they are behind the windows going crazy, cheering, having a good time. So, I mean, thank you for JW and thank you to WCAT for being here and helping us do this. We couldn't have done it without them and all the work that they've done and put into this. It was a collaborative team effort.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. It was a blast.
Yeah, we will be doing this again sometime. I'm not sure how soon, but definitely sometime when we can. And if you're interested in anything the Boys and Girls Club do, you can always check us out online. We have summer camps coming up. Some of these will be esports summer camps where we teach these kids how to get the basic teamwork skills of communication, critical thinking, frustration tolerance, all the traditional things you'd get from sports, but in a more online world. And it's a great opportunity for kids to meet like-minded individuals, to make some lifelong friends, and as you can see, have a great time and make some great memories. So once again, I'm John Cordero. This is JW Parker. We're with the Boys and Girls Club of Stoneham and Wakefield, and we'd like to thank you for taking your time and supporting us in this.
And that is What makes it very